Stay tuned for Nero Wolfe. If the chimes shudder a little on Sunday afternoon, well, they know there's mystery in store Sunday with men of action like Mike Waring, better known as the Falcon, who brings his fearless and romantic touch to the solution of another mystery. After the Falcon, it's high adventure. Then the big guy steps in. The new private eye Charlie Wilde concludes with a few casual homicides. The chimes mean mystery and action this Sunday afternoon on NBC. Transcribed.
My boss is the smartest and the stubbornest, the fattest and the laziest, the cleverest and the craziest, the most extravagant detective in the world, Nero Wolfe.
It's the adventure of Stamped for Murder, with that brilliant, eccentric private detective, orchid fancier, and gargantuan gourmet, Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet.
Instructions for this morning, Archie. Your notebook, please. First, Mr. Salinsbeck. Inform him that the Long Island peafowl he sent were most unsatisfactory. Peafowl's breast flesh is not sweet and tender unless it is well protected from all alarms, especially from the air, to prevent nervousness. Long Island is full of airplanes.
Look, Mr. Wolfe,
I shall want a dozen chickens that have been raised on blueberries and a fresh-killed lamb for tomorrow.
Mr. Wolfe, please listen. There's...
Mr. Goodwin, be quiet, and then dinner on the following day becomes a problem.
Mr. Wolfe, dinner any day is going to be a problem if we don't pay Sausenbach's bill.
Then pay it.
With what? The bank account's empty.
Ridiculous. There were $4,000 yesterday.
But you bought that shipment of orchid bulbs from Wine-Old Gluckner. Mr. Wolfe, we need money. You've got to stop eating and drinking beer long enough to earn some...
Phew. You're an alarmist.
Will you, for the love of heaven, stop turning down clients and turn an honest dollar? I've got a couple of prospects right outside the door.
Send them away.
No, sir.
Send them away. Tell them I've gone to Egypt.
Nothing doing, sir.
Confound you, Archie. Obey orders. Send them away.
Miss Kent, Mr. Rodman, come in, please.
Thank you.
Confound you, Archie. You're mutinous.
Yes, sir, and you're stuck with it. This is Miss Gloria Kent and Mr. Rodman. They arrived as advertised with a pressing problem.
Good morning. You people are here by sufferance only. I shall speak to Mr. Goodwin about it later. Yes, indeed. I don't like pressing problems, Miss Kent. What are yours?
My father.
Indeed, I'm not a court of domestic relations, Miss Kent. What did your father do? Beat you? Withhold your earnings? Discourage your suitors? Mr. Goodwin should have informed you this office does not undertake cases involving marital or family problems.
But that's not...
If Mr. Goodwin had not been beguiled by your pretty face, he might have warned you and avoided this embarrassment to you and annoyance to me.
Now, take it easy, take it easy. How many times have I told you you don't know how to handle women?
Then suppose you let Miss Kent handle me.
Well, it's simply this, Mr. Wolfe. I had some money my mother left me. My father's just spent it without my permission. I want it back without a scandal.
Thanks, Miss Kent. How much? How spent?
$10,000. Father bought a treasure map.
Indeed, from whom?
A pair of swindlers named Cross and Halleck. They've driven him crazy, talking about fortune salvaged from the SS this and the SS that. He's got a map and old letters he studies. He's childish.
Many fortunes have been recovered. Many more await on the sea bottom. How do you know your father has been duped?
Well, I know.
You do, Mr. Rodman.
Yes. Cross and Halleck bought some old letters from me, written by my grandfather from Hawaii. They used them to manufacture the map and evidence. And that's what they sold to Kent.
Father thought he was being so clever. He had the paper analyzed. Of course, the document research laboratory said the letters were genuine. They were. But something new had been added. I'd have never known if Mr. Rodman hadn't told me.
You're a party to the swindle, Mr. Rodman?
I was not. I never knew what they were up to.
Mr. Wolfe, you've got to help me. I can't do anything with Father. I can't convince him. Even Mr. Rodman can't.
No, Miss Kent, I'm sorry. This is not for me.
Oh, but you must. You must.
Not in my office, madam. No tears. Please, Archie, stop her.
Okay.
Archie, when Miss Kent has finished her disgraceful exhibition, show them out.
How dare he walk out on us like he was...
Easy. I know him. You don't. He gets into a panic when women cry, or else he's curious about what Fritz is cooking for lunch. Now, just wait a minute, please. Oh, aren't you ashamed of yourself walking out like that on that poor kid?
That hysterical gamma.
She's lost all of her money. She needs help.
I charge high fees, Archie.
So charge a small fee. Do you want her to starve?
Good heavens. Starve? How monstrous.
I'm not kidding. While you'll be in here smelling your dinner, she and her father will be starving.
I thought you were bringing me a paying client.
Well, this is different. She's,
You're beautiful. Archie, you're impossible. Oh, very well. Go back into them. Get names, addresses, facts. I am not committed to Miss Kent's case, but we'll see. Be a tribute I paid for your weakness for a pretty face.
Rodman and Gloria Kent were gone, however. So all I had were the few facts they'd given me before they met Wolf. I felt guilty about that when he came back into the office and sat down in his specially built chair. He closed his eyes, and I glared at him. Well, how much of you is awake? Mr. Wolf. Well, they disappeared. Did you tell me you were going to help this girl just to get her out of the office, or did you mean it?
You're a gadfly.
No, sir. No, sir. You made a promise, and you're stuck with it.
What did you get from Rodman?
Name, address, occupation. He's a librarian, that's all.
Very careless, Archie. You missed a significant point.
Such as,
How did Rodman discover the letters he sold were being altered by forgery and used for swindle? How did he locate the dupe, Mr. Kent?
I guess you're right. I'll ask him next time. But what about now? Are you going to get Gloria's money back?
I assume you call Miss Kent Gloria solely in order to annoy me. It does. Stop it. Get Cross and Halleck.
On my way.
You'll find them at the Hotel Bogart.
Wrong, sir. According to my notes, their address is...
Never mind their address. The Hotel Bogart is the headquarters for successful, confident tricksters. They celebrate their victories there while the money lasts. You will possibly find Cross and Halleck drinking whiskey or lunching, probably both.
I located Cross and Halleck in the hotel bar and lured them back to our place on 35th Street. Wolf was sitting behind his desk with his hands crossed on his impressive middle, at peace with his lunch and the world when I ushered them in. He sat bolt upright and scorched me with a look. Good afternoon, Mr. Wolf. The tall one's name is Cross, the short one is Halleck. They want to help me invest my money. Gentlemen, Mr. Nero Wolf.
What?
Who?
Nero Wolf.
Hey, what is this?
Confound you, Archie. How drunk are they?
Not too drunk for business.
Let's get out of here. Come on.
Wait a minute. You want me to keep him here, Mr. Wolf?
Not by violence, Archie. Come back here, gentlemen. Unless you want 7 years in the state penitentiary.
What? You got nothing on us, Wolf. Nothing.
I have the Kent case.
The Kent? That's a laugh. We're sitting pretty.
You are not, sir. You imagine you possess legal immunity. Mr. Kent believes you are grotesque balderdash and will not sue for fraud. Miss Kent cannot sue because she is reluctant to accuse her father of wrongfully obtaining her money. Ergo, you think you are invulnerable.
Now, listen.
But you forget me. I'm a detective with a fee to earn.
A big fee.
Quiet, Archie. I am determined to get that fee. Therefore, as Miss Kent's agent, I can and will bring action against you. I'm indifferent to her tears or her father's disgrace. I'm indifferent to anything outside of money. You will return the $10,000 to me at once, sir, or you'll be in jail by morning.
You mean that?
I do, Mr. Cross.
Alec. Come here.
Come on, hurry.
Okay. Here, Mr. Wolf. Alec and I have decided we don't want to get in any trouble with you. Here's your $10,000.
Let's have it.
Give the dough to Kent, Mr. Wolf, and get the letters and map back for us. You've got a reputation for being tricky, but honest. We trust you. Come on, Alec, let's go.
Well, how about that?
Preposterous.
No, sir. Take a look. $10,000, genuine coin of the realm.
That man Cross is a fool. Does he imagine I'm to be fooled so easily?
What do you mean he left the money?
He surrendered too quickly, Archie. Too easily. And that money in the envelope he was carrying all ready to refund. Why?
Well, maybe he's got a better sucker. I heard him mention a Ben Sanford.
Nonsense. Does he need Kent's forged letters and map to cheat this Ben Sanford? Couldn't he prepare another set?
I guess you're right. Something's fishy.
In any event, it's no concern of mine, thank heaven.
Why not?
I'm not committed to Miss Kent in any way. As a favor to you, I undertook to regain her money. I have done that. You may take it back to her and obtain the forged papers in return.
But,
Silence, Mr. Goodwin. Go to your red-haired charmer. Leave me in peace. I intend to spend this afternoon with my New World Atlas.
I left him 3,000 miles up the Amazon with his magnifying glass and drove up to East 69th Street. The Kent house was a broken-down little brownstone, and as I went up the stoop, the door opened and Gloria Kent burst out like a skyrocket. Hey, Miss Kent, easy, easy.
Let go of me. Let go.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Wrong. Nothing is wrong. Nothing at all.
Well, how about seeing your father?
You want to see my father? Come inside.
Oh, for the love of heaven.
Come inside, Mr. Goodwin. I'll introduce you. He's in a back room. Come right through the living room.
What else came through this living room? A hurricane?
No, Mr. Goodwin. Something else. There's my father, Mr. Goodwin.
What in the devil? He's dead. His throat's cut.
Father, this is Archie Goodwin from Nero Wolf's office. He and his boss refused to help while they could. Maybe he can help you now.
Stop it.
All I'm good for now is revenge. That's all.
Stop
Archie.
it. Stop it and look at me. When did it happen?
I don't know.
When did you find him?
Just now.
Keep looking at me. Who went through this house like a hurricane? You?
No.
Where did you go after you left the office?
To the laboratory.
What lab?
Document research. The place that checked the map.
How long were you there?
Until an hour ago. I was with Mr. Rodman.
Keep looking at me. And then?
I had lunch.
With Rodman?
Alone. And then I came home.
All right. All right, now listen to me. I want you to go to Mr. Wolf's house right now. Have you got cab fare?
Yes?
All right, take a cab. I've got to stay here, but I'll call Mr. Wolf and tell him you're on the way. Now, get. I called Wolf, told him everything, and he instructed me to advise Inspector Kramer, who arrived with the homicide squad. I gave the inspector everything while the squad photographed and measured, print dusted and detected. At 3:30, Kramer took me back to the house on 35th Street for a fight with Wolf.
It's a great story, Wolf. Great. Kent buys a phony treasure map. Everybody knows it's phony except Kent. But Cross and Halleck try to buy it back, and Kent gets himself murdered.
Did you find the map and letters in the house, Inspector?
No, I didn't.
The killer was after the map.
The phony map?
Certainly.
Why?
Well, if we knew that, we would know why Cross and Halleck so willingly paid back the money and why Kent was murdered.
Maybe it's not phony.
I'd better see the girl now.
Oh, you fancy her for the murder?
Well, I'll know after I ask a few questions.
Tonight. She's had a shock, Mr. Kramer. She needs rest.
Look, Wolf, I want her.
Why bother with her when there's so much to be done?
Yes, such as?
Cross and Halleck, find them. And the mystery man they spoke of, Ben Sanford. These are the men you want now, not this poor, overwrought girl.
Yeah. All right. The girl will be here for questioning tonight, though, huh?
Tonight, Mr. Kramer.
Okay. You'll hear from me later on.
Well, you buffaloed him out of that, okay. Say, why don't you want her questioned? Is she guilty?
I don't know.
Well, what did she say when she got here?
She said nothing. She never arrived.
She never what?
She never arrived.
Well, then why did you tell Kramer she was resting?
Would he have believed the truth? She must be found. More important, we must learn why forged letters and forged map produces turmoil.
Find the killer and you find the map. You said so.
I said the reverse, which is an altogether different statement. Archie, I want a photograph of that map. Get it.
Oh, sure. Any particular camera you want me to use?
You'll find the photograph at 200 Vanderbilt Street.
Are you kidding?
The lab cannot check the authenticity of old papers without photographing them in ultraviolet light, infrared light, and so on. If this document research lab has examined those papers, they will have photographs. Get them.
He got out of his chair and waddled back to the house elevator. It was 4:00 and time for his regular afternoon session with the orchids. I drove down to the document research laboratory on Vanderbilt and got such a shock that I grabbed the office phone and dialed Wolf at once.
Nero Wolf.
Mr. Wolf, Archie here.
What's the matter? You lost?
No, sir. No, sir, but I found something.
Photographs?
No, Mr. Wolf, I don't think you'll ever see any photographs of the Kent map. I don't think any were taken.
Indeed.
But guess who runs the document research laboratory? No. Don't guess. You probably know. A man named Ben Sanford, and he's sitting right here looking at me.
Bring him home with you.
Home? But it's 4 p.m. This is the sacred hour when you pray over your orchids.
Then Mr. Sanford can join the ceremony.
Hey, how about this place? How about it? There must be a million flowers up here.
No, not flowers. Orchids only. Mr. Wolf has 10,000 plants.
Never saw anything like it.
And you never will again, brother.
Hey, what kind is that on the bench?
Oh, that's our pride and joy. Odontoglossum harryanum. Above them, the Van Petersirana, and the pink ones are the Coelogiani panduratas. Now, the large object, mulching flower pots, is Nero Wolf. Mr. Wolf, Ben Sanford.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi. I came along to be obliging. I've got nothing to say about anything.
How much have you offered Cross and Halleck for their treasure map?
No comment.
Mr. Sanford, I'm going to make some assumptions. I assume that you are not, in fact, a document expert, but an accessory to the fraud of Halleck and Cross.
No comment.
That you actually prepare fraudulent maps for those swindlers, and then, in the guise of an expert, guarantee their authenticity.
No comment.
But this you must answer. You did guarantee the authenticity of the map and letters Kent bought. It's on record.
All right, I did.
Then will you admit they were forged?
What are you, a comic? No.
You guarantee the value of the Kent map?
Yes.
As an expert?
Yes.
Then you've convicted yourself of murder.
Murder? What is this?
Mr. Kent was murdered, sir. Evidently for the map and letters he bought. But of all persons involved, you alone believe in the value of the map. No one else does. Therefore, you alone would have murdered Kent for the map.
For the love of... Now, wait a minute.
Chew it over, brother. Chew it over. Either way, he's got you.
Okay, you want me to level? Here it is.
Level, Archie.
Okay, boss. Thief-type talk. It means tell the truth.
It's like you say. The letters were bought from Rodman. I forged the map and evidence onto them. I guaranteed them to Kent. It was a swindle.
The letters are without value?
Oh, sure, they're old, that's all, from 1851. Just tired family gossip and stuff.
Indeed. There we have the problem again, Archie. Mr. Kent is swindled with a map and letters that are known to be worthless. He alone believes the fantasy of the treasure.
There isn't any treasure, never was.
Yet Cross and Halleck refunded the swindle money so eagerly. It is obvious they want those worthless documents back badly. Someone else wants them so bad he murders Mr. Kent. Why?
I don't know.
Archie, we must find the girl. There's a chance she turned to Mr. Rodman for refuge. I'm sorry you'll have to go there at once. If the girl isn't there, bring Rodman.
Yes?
Hello, Rodman. Remember me? I'm Archie Goodwin from Nero Wolf's office.
Oh, yes, of course.
I came to get Gloria Kent. There's been a change in plans. Tell her to come out, please.
Gloria? Well, she's not here. Why should she be?
Haven't you heard?
Heard what?
Well, I guess you'd better come down and see Wolf.
Mr. Goodwin, I'm afraid I can't. I'm rather busy.
Look, Rodman, maybe you ought to know. Old man Kent was murdered.
What?
Yes, just after you and Gloria left us.
Kent murdered? Well, this is awful, Mr. Goodwin.
You want to see Mr. Wolf now? Get your hat.
Murder? Well, believe me, I never wanted this. I'm going to tell Nero Wolf the whole mess. Every word of it.
Okay, then. Come on, let's go.
Yes, of course. Just a minute. I'll get my hat in the bedroom. Murdered? Kent? I never dreamed.
Oh. Come on, Rodman. Come on. What? I didn't hear you. Oh, Rodman. What the... Oh! Rodman. Oh, Rodman. Good. Oh, what next? Come on.
This is Nero Wolf.
Archie here. We've had a tough break.
Yes?
While I was waiting for Rodman at the front door, he went into the bedroom for his hat. The killer was there.
How do you know?
He cut Rodman's throat.
Tell.
The back window was open. It's a ground floor apartment. He was out and gone before I had a chance.
Archie, where were your wits?
Let me alone. I've had a man murdered 20 feet from me. You think I'm cheering?
Mr. Kramer is here, and he has news for us, Archie. He could not locate Cross and Halleck in their apartment. They had not been home all day. The maid informed him that she was waiting for her weekly salary.
Well, so what?
She was most angry and peppery, Mr. Kramer informs me.
Red pepper?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, maybe I know what you mean. I'll try to deliver the goods this time. Goodbye. I drove down to the apartment house on Gramercy Square where Cross and Halleck lived, took the elevator up to the 10th floor, found the right door, and slipped in with a pass key. Come on out. Come out wherever you are. I know you're in here. You fooled Kramer pretending to be the maid, but you didn't fool Wolf. You'd better... Gloria! Cut it out, you idiot. Lay off. It's Archie, you dope. Archie Goodwin from Nero Wolf's office. Remember me?
Go.
Give me the gun, Gloria. Give it to me. That's right. Who did you think I was?
Halleck.
Oh, brilliant. So Wolf figured you out, huh? Well, you are a brave girl. They killed your father. You came up here and waited for them. You were going to kill them right back, huh? Oh, that red-headed temper. And you bluffed Kramer into thinking you were the maid.
I had to do something. It was the only thing I could think of. To come here and kill him.
Well, you're coming home with Archie. And just remember one thing. When Wolf's working for you, don't try to do any thinking. It only gets in Wolf's way. I got Gloria Kent back to the house at 7 o'clock. I parked the car, brought her into the office, and got the shock of my life. There was a convention on. Wolf was there, with Inspector Kramer representing the cops. Cross, Halleck, and Sanford were there representing the crooks. When Kramer saw Gloria, he scowled first at her and then at Wolf.
So it was a slick one after all, Wolf. You didn't have the girl. You had no intention of producing her.
Please, Mr. Kramer, that can wait. There are other matters more important. I dine at 8. That leaves me 1 hour to solve your murders.
Murders? More than one?
Yes, 2. Elmer Rodman.
By heaven, Goodwin, if you...
Please, Mr. Kramer, not now. First, Miss Kent. Good evening, Miss Kent. I presume you have met these gentlemen, Cross, Halleck, and Sanford? Yeah, take your purse, please.
Well, why?
Don't think me as naive as Mr. Goodwin, miss. When you left your home after the murder of your father, you took the map and letters with you. They're in your purse
Well,
now.
that's not true.
Archie, the purse. Thank you. We have here an interesting situation. There exist some old letters and map, forged and fraudulent. They're worth $10,000 and more to Cross and Halleck and worth 2 murders to a killer. Why? There must be something of great value in the letters.
Yes, such as?
Something which Mr. Sanford could not see, although he worked on the document closely. Yet something which could be made manifest. What is the answer, Miss Kent? You know it?
I swear I don't.
Secret writing, Archie. Bring the chafing dish from the dining room.
Right.
Secret writing?
I saw nothing when I worked on those letters.
Naturally, Mr. Sanford, the writing is invisible. The heat is an agent. It makes most forms of secret writing visible.
The chafing dish, boss.
Thank you, Archie. Place it before me and light it.
Right.
Now I open Miss Kent's purse. From it, you see, I withdraw these ancient letters which he took from her house after her father's murder.
That's not true.
Archie.
That's enough, Gloria. That's enough. From now on, you just listen.
We remove the letters from the envelope and toast them gently. The secret ink vintage 1851 will easily succumb to the agency of heat.
Careful. Those envelopes will catch fire.
Hey, they're caught.
Don't be upset, Mr. Cross, Mr. Halleck.
The envelopes.
They'll burn safely in the dish. We can concentrate on the writing. Watch closely. I don't want to be accused of trickery.
You fat fool. The envelopes are everything.
Put them out, Sanford. Don't sit there. Put them out.
Why, Mr. Halleck?
Well, the stamps, the missionaries, are worth a fortune.
The missionary. Of course. You know that. Mr. Cross knows. So does Mr. Sanford, right?
Yeah.
Cross Sanford knows, you old fool. Let me...
But Mr. Sanford is not alarmed. Why not, sir?
I don't know what you're talking about.
$50,000 or $100,000 is burning before your eyes, Mr. Sanford. Cross and Halleck are burning their fingers, putting out the flaming envelopes. And you sit there quite indifferently. Why?
Well,
You know the value of the missionary stamps on the letters you bought from Rodman. But you know these aren't the real letters. Isn't that it?
Not the real letters?
I told you I'm tough to crack, Wolf. You didn't fool me with those dummies.
Dummies, how do you know? Mr. Cross didn't know. Mr. Haddock didn't know. How did you?
Well,
I'll tell you, sir. Only one man could know I was framing Miss Kent as a decoy. Only one man could know I prepared these dummy letters and pretended to take them from her purse. And that is the killer. The man who murdered her father and stole the map and letters this morning. You, sir, Mr. Sanford.
Well, I'll be...
Mr. Kramer, there's your killer. You'll find the missing map and letters on him or concealed in his home or office. You won't need the evidence anyway. Look at his face. He's self-confessed.
Self-confessed like fun. He was booby-trapped.
No, Mr. Kramer. Not a complicated case, really. Very simple. Elmer Rodman sold a packet of old family letters to the swindlers for a small sum. They used the letters to perpetrate their fraud on Miss Kent's father.
And the stamps on the letters were valuable?
They were a special Hawaiian issue 1851, Miss Kent. Nicknamed missionaries, because missionaries used them for writing home. They are extremely rare stamps worth upward of $25,000 each.
Hey, no wonder they were worth 2 murders. We found 5 of them on Sanford.
Excellent. Somewhere or other, Rodman discovered the value of the stamps after he sold the letters. In his effort to get them back, he communicated his discovery to the swindlers, Cross, Halleck, and Sanford.
So that's why they refunded the money so fast.
Precisely, in an effort to have the sale rescinded. Rodman sought out Kent and tried to convince him of the fraud. Alas, he would not listen to the truth, Mr. Kramer.
Oh, I get it. And while the others were hassling around, Sanford tried to steal a march and quietly resorted to murder.
There you have it.
Ha-ha! Great job, boss. Great job. So Gloria not only gets her 10 grand back, but 5 times 25, which is about 125,000 worth of goodies. Now, figuring your rates by the hour, that means you've done a gratis job worth about...
Miss Kent, I did not know will I demand a large fee for what I have done. I will not go back on my word. But I can beg for a favor.
I'll only be too happy to...
Wait. I asked something that would not be easy to grant.
What is it?
Will you use your red hair, your pretty face, your admirable figure, and your ample fortune to lure Mr. Goodwin away from this house tonight? I would like to enjoy my dinner in peace.
That won't be difficult, Mr. Wolf.
Let's have an understanding right now, Gloria. Difficult for you or for me?
I'll be delighted.
Indeed. To spend an evening with Mr. Goodwin, there is only one word for you, Miss Kent. Intrepid.
You have been listening to The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet. Tonight's story by Alfred Bester was based on the famous characters created by Rex Stout, produced by Edwin Fadiman, and directed by J. Donald Wilson. In the cast were Wally Mayer as Archie Goodwin, and Gene Bates, Howard McNair, Jay Novello, Larry Dobkin, Bill Johnstone, and Herb Vigran. Music by Joseph Enos. Next week at this same time, Nero Wolfe and Archie will bring you The Case of the Careworn Cup. Don Stanley speaking.
The preceding was transcribed. 3 chimes mean good times on NBC. The chimes ring for Dennis Day and Judy Canova tomorrow night on NBC. Also, Judy Canova prepares to go operatic tomorrow because her special guest is Ezio Pinza.
This is Chester William Bendix Riley. The Man Called X follows on NBC.
morning, weirdos. How are you? How you doing?
How you doing,
I am here. I am awake. I'm a little perplexed this morning. I uploaded 5 episodes of X-1 yesterday and set them to premiere, but I can't find them on my computer now. They're on YouTube now, but I seem to have deleted them on my computer here, which is a good thing I uploaded them, because that would be a bummer to completely lose those episodes there. So here I am this morning. I am wide awake, but I am a little puzzled about this whole file thing. Ain't it odd? It just don't seem to be around anywhere. Well, let's see. There's X-1 there. Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer, you know.
Especially if I've completely deleted them. Let's see, I'm just gonna poke around here in some files real quick and see if I can come up with any of these shows here. Time Radio Collection. Well, I still have the whole collection here.
Well, that's good. That's something there at least. But there's something.
You know, it's just kind of a goober here that I can't find all those shows I just created yesterday. Yeah, you know, I always do that. I always move a bunch of shit around and then screw myself up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeedy, sir.
Well, let's check the Basura here. No, nothing in the Basura but the shit I was messing with yesterday. Sync and backup. Let's hope that works.
Alrighty then.
Doggy. Just me, or is it warm in here?
My goodness.
Gracious goodness me. So how's everybody doing out there? I had a hell of a weekend. I made like 20 videos. Of course, now I can't find most of them. Ain't that a bummer? Ain't that a bummer? Is anybody there? Hello? Hello? Anybody? Totally television. Yeah, it's just gone, man. Did I put him in the wrong file? No? Yeah, well, we'll have to look for them later. I'll have to look for them later. So let's see. Yeah, I just spent the weekend putting together a whole bunch of videos. They're all uploaded to YouTube. They're all gonna go public. A couple of videos a day for the next couple of weeks while I work on more videos. Now that I've got my act together here, maybe I'll keep from losing stuff. I guess I could look over here real quick and see if I dropped them. Okay, it's unavailable. Nothing. Yeah, it looks like I deleted a bunch of stuff and screwed myself. And deleted it from both computers on accident. Ain't that something? Video production. And there they are. And there they are. All right, I've found them. I'm just gonna... They're on the other computer where I created them. They never made it to this computer. That's why they're not there. I didn't delete them. They just never made it there. Whew. Okay. That's what I was doing last night. I was clouding them over, and I never got a chance to. All right, I'm happy now. So I'm looking into getting a desktop computer. I do want a Chromebook. But at the same time, I think I want a desktop so that I can, let me get rid of this thing. I need a desktop computer so that I can have more speed, more power for video editing. My video editing would be a lot quicker if it would save quick. And it won't save quick because it's a laptop. They just don't have the processor speed. So there's that. I guess we can do bong hits because... Hey, that's what we do, eh? Gonna do some freaking bong hits here. Is there anybody there? Anybody? Anybody joining me this morning for coffee and bong hits? And I premiered a couple of movies. So let's see. We can go see what's available. What's available? Yeah. I'm having too much fun. I'm having way too much fun. Yeah. So there's 3 new videos right now available to watch. And that's pretty dang cool. So if you'd like, we can watch one together. I did one from high school, and it's called Reading, Writing, and Reefer. Looks like somebody's already watched Coffee. Because it's coffee, man. It's just all about coffee. It's a silent movie about coffee. Which, there's nothing silent about coffee. Especially once it's time for the bathroom. Oh my God, did he say that? He didn't just say that, did he? Okay. That's right. I created them there, and I was trying to figure out yesterday how I'm going to get them over to here. I guess I need to think about more thumb drive. If I can just thumb drive shit off, put it over here, thumb drive it, dump it onto my external, and not have to keep pulling this external from laptop to laptop. Kind of want it over here. And then my other external keeps thumping, keeps making a noise. So I'm going to have to dump everything off of it as soon as I can, just to make sure. Just to make sure. But I think, other than a few items, this other external hard drive has pretty much been moved over to the other one. I was going to try to use it for the recording the mixer, but it needs to be completely empty and then formatted. Holy hell. Yeah, my short. That's a horrible idea. What time? That's about it. That's about the size of it. So, what I tried to do yesterday was create 2 weeks of content. I've got 2 weeks of content except for the old-time radio shows. So I'm going to make a shitload of old-time radio shows this week, upload them with premiere dates so that I can free up my time this weekend to create actual concert videos, because I've got a bunch of those that I want to produce. So I'm going to do that this weekend. Hopefully I'll get a bunch of old-time radio shows created during the week. Mainly during the day, because over the weekend I think I've switched my schedule around. I slept really, really good. I went to sleep really, really early Friday and Saturday nights. Last night I was up a little too late. I was in here mucking around with shit, trying to clean up my desktop, and didn't get out of here until after 10, which means I didn't get to sleep until almost midnight. So while I may take a nap today, I don't think it's going to need to take a huge chunk of my day. And I can create, save, and upload to YouTube an old-time radio show an hour-ish. Because, you know, and I have been working on both computers, but that seems to spread me out a little bit, and now I don't know. I really want my live computer to be my graphics computer. And I really want my graphics computer to be a key computer, so it just has graphics that key up. Doesn't have to go fast. They just have to have a graphic file, graphics on the screen, graphics that I've created, PowerPoint stuff, and then I just hit a button and it superimposes on the screen there. And then I need a desktop for editing and going live, and then a notebook for going live and more graphics, and especially viewing what it is that I'm doing, because I need to have a monitor of what's going on live. So here's my phone. My phone right now is my monitor. It shows me the live picture as it is on YouTube. What I see is the live picture as it is now in front of me, and that's like 30 seconds behind what you guys are seeing. So, bongs away, you friggin' douche. Alright, I'm gonna load up another bong hit here, and then no more than then. I hope you guys enjoyed that last Grateful Dead video that I made. It took forever. It took 16 hours just to save. It took me an hour to make it, to create the video, to line up all of the audio, create the graphics, probably 2 hours. Create the graphics, line up all of the songs, make the set list, tie everything together, and then save. And it took 16 hours to save, just only to save. And then it took another 3 or 4 hours to upload onto YouTube. But if you watch the video, it's really, really cool. I mean, let me just jump in here real quick to part of it, and we can check it out. So I can listen to it just a little bit, just a taste, just see what it tastes like. All right. Fucking hey, that's cool. Presume to imagine. Alright, there you go. You gotta go check that out. It's a 2.5 hour long concert. It's really bitchin'. It's the first night of the weekend that I went, and I went the last night. And this is the first night, and I've got the second night, and I'm going to be creating the video for that this weekend and uploading that Sunday. So there you go. Yeah, it's bitchin' stuff, man. Very cool video. I love it. Very cool special effects. I'm starting to come into my own here. In fact, last night I was going over the video in my head that I want to create, the music video. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to write out a list of shots that I want, and then a list of locations, and then just take a camera and a guitar and go, you know. That's it. And I don't necessarily want shots of me mouthing the exact words. On occasion, yes, but for the most part, I just like shots of me out and about with the guitar in various locations pertaining to the movies, right? So there's that. So I'll be setting something up this week so that when I go out to take the kids to their concert, I can then go out for a few hours and shoot some video real quick. Mainly in Hollywood, because of course movies, Hollywood, bada bing bang boom. There you go. Everybody try that one. Ow! Wow! Wow! I need to warm this coffee up.
It needs heat, man. It needs the heat. I need more heat in me coffee, man. Okay, I'll be right back, man.
That's a horrible idea. What time? No, really.
Okay, so like, I know there's going to be like somebody out there. No wedgie, no wedgie, no wedgie.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be somebody out there that wants to give me an idea of what we can discuss or something that I can play for you. Some kind of discussion starter, right? Because I could just start rambling, which is what I usually do. And I could do that. Well, I'm doing that now. I'm just a rambler. I'm a rambling man. I'll tell you what, if I get enough people hanging out with me this morning, I just might pick up my guitar and play a little song for you. But I got a good little input. I gotta have a little back and forth. Let me know that I'm not just jerking off here.
I'm not just humping the bunk here, man.
Somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me.
You know what I need is like somebody from out of state, like that I've like known forever, to just all of a sudden be randomly watching and be going, oh my God, like no way. All right.
No, really.
No way. No way.
Rambling. Rambling, man. Rambling, man. Rambling. I'm a rambling man. No, really, I found some great student educational films from the gosh darn it, from the 50s all the way up into the 80s. Just some great stuff. What's up, Joey? What's going on, man? Man, I am just totally wickedly bored. I'm bored out of my gourd, man. Probably because I did so much yesterday that, sitting here doing absolutely nothing right now kind of feels, well, boring. I need a couple of more computers is what I need. I need to be able to do all of this and to be doing other stuff at the same time, right? Totally. That's what I need. Anybody want to send me a couple of more computers? I was just looking at Walmart online, and there's this little desktop computer, just the CPU, just the PC, right? Just the box, right? And it was like less than $300, and it's like twice as fast as these things, twice the memory, twice the amount of plugs, USBs and stuff, right? And I'm like, wow, it's got like 2 monitor ports, which means I could do a monitor, and then I could do an out to the audio video mixer. So it's got like the capabilities of having a desktop, and then just use my monitor as a monitor, that would be very, very cool. It would speed up my saving and editing and that kind of shit. Upload It would give me ooh, that's a good, strong number. God, I got up into the 8,000s with my kbps, my kilobytes per second. Usually it's about, 75. But that was like 86. That was great, man. Wow, we got a good, strong signal this morning. A good, strong stream. Ugh. Good and bright yellow. Yeah. Anyways, man. Anyways. So yeah, I'm planning the Hollywood trip for the end of this month. I'm planning a trip to Elsinore, my hometown, at the beginning of July. So I will be starting to reach out to people in that area soon. As soon as I come up with some kind of tentative time period that I'm going to do this. Right now things are kind of slow. We didn't clean one house this week. Well, I didn't. My wife's got things she likes to do, but I didn't do any work this weekend. And there's nothing really lined up. I try not to worry about financial things. I just kind of let them work themselves out, and usually it's, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Things slow down a little bit. Sometimes we got to take on a different line of work, do more handyman type stuff. Well, it's dead right now. Let's fix these things, paint these things, do these things while we got the time, and then we kind of balance out a little bit. I try not to do that when it's slow, because it's slow, so there's no money coming in for them to afford to do stuff, let alone pay me to do stuff. So it's like, I just figure, what, we're going to get last minute bookings. That's the way I look at it, Just assume that if there's nothing going on right now, we're going to get last minute bookings, because it's a busy period out here for tourism. And I honestly think the houses need a gimmick. They're not gimmicky enough. They've been blanded out. The last lady to take control of two of these houses has taken all of the warmth and kitschiness out of it. They're just boring houses now. They're like doctor's offices, right? They just have no flavor. So my idea is to go in, do a little bit of color with the painting, get rid of the wall decorations that are in there, or at least enhance them with other stuff, or put things in the house that actually go with the things in the house, because it's pretty, like I said, it's pretty bland. It's pretty bland over there. And my idea is just to 80s it up. Let's take this house and let's do as much to it as possible that says the 1970s and 80s and earlier, right? So when you get there, it's like going to visit your great-grandfather, right, or your grandpa or somebody. But it's like staying at an old relative's house, and I think that right there would really change the whole booking situation. An actual tube television in each room, size specific, a medium size little tube TV for the teenage room, a smaller tube TV for the kids' room, the twins' room, a bigger tube TV, maybe in an entertainment thing, in the adults' room, the parents' room. In the living room, have like a console TV, with the stereo and the big speakers built into it, right? The rug out in the front of the TV, where the kids sit there with their pillows and watch the Lone Ranger, what fucking ever. Just give the place some warmth. Give it some... It's got nothing, man. It needs something. Like the hallway. If I could just decorate the hallway with some some lights that point at the walls at movie posters, right? Movie posters, movie paraphernalia, headshots of actors and actresses, right? Maybe some gold records, just something that says entertainment, right? So they come in and they see all of this going on, right? And then have some beaded curtain at the end of the hall, so they have to enter into the living room, right? Every room you go into, you have to open a door, so why not the living room? Open this beaded curtain into the living room and have a little time journey, Everything in the house should be of the period, or at least retro, right? And just try to get it as close as possible with and I've got like a ton of shit. I got furniture, electronics, TVs. I'm always on the lookout for more TVs. If I could get a really, really righteous big screen tube television, colored television, something like a 32-incher in a console with a stereo and everything works, that's what I want. And have that, because people, they don't want to go on vacation and go to a place that's like home or bland, more bland than home, right? I mean, the coolest thing about the house, the one main house that I'm talking about, is the outside, where there's 3 hammocks and a barbecue and a patio and a couch and some chairs and a fire pit. And that's the most interesting thing about the house. You come inside, it's like, well, this is boring. Well, there's the TV. Well, there's the TV. I mean, it's like there's nothing fucking going on in this house. It's just so fucking boring. And I'm not saying that you need to go on vacation to this place and then just stay in the house, right? But you need to, the house needs to be inviting. And like I said, if it feels like you're staying at an old relative's house from way back when, with all of this old stuff and books and records and tapes and, tangible things that you can pick up and play with and use, that's what I would want. I wouldn't want to go to, I wouldn't stay at this house, pay to stay at this house, because it's just so fucking boring. There's a house up the street that we do that's really bitchin'. It's got a turntable, it's got an old console. I just put a new needle on the record player. The house is really kitschy. Each room has got a nice little thing going on, The one up by the park, the house that we do up by the park, it's an old 1950s brick cabin that has got a lot of character. And they've got things in the house that even give it more character, right? These 2 houses here, they've just been blanded. And you can tell by their reservations, nothing, I mean, I feel like we've been sabotaged by this lady. She blanded our houses, so people are going to rent her houses, and she really went overboard on her houses, right? I bet she's constantly booked. But no. I'm just going to have to just fucking do it. Just say, okay, look, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to do this, and let's have some pictures taken, and if it don't work, I'll put it back. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Anything's got to be better than the way it is now. I mean, how can you take photos of a bland place and make it look good? I mean, that must be the only reason why it's been getting rented, is because somebody took some really good photos of this bland house. Or people like to stay in, sterile motel rooms. That's not why you go to an Airbnb. You go to an Airbnb to have an adventure. And there's no adventure in this house. The other one of the houses here in town, it's a little adventurous, but it's still bland, And I think if I were to be able to take just one of these houses and just go crazy on it, even without paint, I could do a number on it, Even if I were to just paint the entrance, and then add the movie posters and the lights, right? And then from there, just redecorate without paint. I could turn this place around, you know. And I'm just going to have to do it because it's not getting any bookings, you know. And I'm just going to have to go to my friend and say, okay, look, I know that, you know, you're kind of beholden to your wife's friend about this, you know, and giving her the chance, but it's been a year and it's kind of gone backward, you know. So let me just have it for a month or two and see what happens. Take some new pictures, you know. I'll take the frickin' pictures and send them in, you know. I'll let my wife take them. She's a great photographer. I'll take a shitload of pictures, send a bunch of pictures to you. You can pick out the pictures you want. You know, but let me decorate this fucking house, please. It needs it so bad. It is boring. I mean, I'm bored right now. If I were sitting in that house as bored as I am right now, I'd frickin' off myself. You know, because that house is just boring. You have to fill it with people to make it exciting. Even then, it just sucks. Yeah, it's air conditioner weather. If you can hear that in the background, that's my air conditioner on. I wake up in the morning and it's just stuffy and warm in here. And I sleep in there. I sleep with the air conditioner on. I sleep with it on every fucking night after a certain time of the year, and it's past that certain time of year. In fact, when I'm doing now that I'm doing my stuff here and I'm busy all the time, sometimes I'm up till the wee hours, and I'll be going to sleep and knowing that I'm going to be up in a couple of hours, right? And it's like I don't even want to go into the room and bother getting into bed only to have my alarm go off in a couple of hours and have to get up and come back out here, right? It's like this morning my alarm went off and I could feel my wife moving and grumbling like it's too fucking early. I'm thinking, yeah, it's too fucking early. So I think that a few nights a week when I'm up late, I'm just going to sleep out here on the day bed and, you know, pull a curtain around me and pass out for a couple of hours, and then I can do the same thing. Pass out here in the day bed or in the bedroom, in bed for a nap, and not be a bother to anyone, you know, because this schedule of mine, it's fun for me, but it's got to be hell on others who have to deal with it. Like I got up this morning at 4 and my daughter was just going to sleep. She was just going to sleep. That says a lot about our household, right? She's going to sleep as I'm waking up. About the time I'm going down for a nap or ready for a nap, getting done with this, my wife is getting up. So then I hold on for an hour or two to hang out with her before I'd have to go down. But I'm hoping that if I can keep my schedule, stay busy during the day, get through with my evening show, and then just wrap up some things on the computers and then be done by 8. You know, if I can stick to that schedule, then I can be asleep by 10 and get my 6 hours sleep. Well, 5-ish, 6-ish, depending on how many times I get up and get rid of all the water and coffee that I ingest. So yeah, I cleaned up my laptop. Of course, if you've seen it before, then you know it had a shitload of stuff on it. So I cleaned it all up. And now, rather than have all of these things running from my desktop, what I do now is I have all of these big files in my external hard drive, and then what I'll do is I will open up a file. I will open up files from the hard drive onto my desktop and run my nighttime show from those files. A file of music, a file of commercials and news, weather, and then a file of whatever else is that I'm playing, all that other crap that I play on that show. So that's pretty cool, yeah. I can dig it, man. But the desktop was pretty busy. But now with everything, most of the memory stuff down in the external hard drive, and I can run it from there. It frees up about 20 gigs, and before I was about 5 or 6 gigabytes free, and that was a bummer, because everything starts to run a little slow, and then you don't have any room to do anything. I can't build any large video files with no memory to save. So I've got to create a video or two, upload them, and then save them onto the hard drive. And then it keeps the computer memory free for more work, right? So that's why I need more hard drive, more external hard drive, and I need a big desktop, something with a really fast processor, like a gaming computer, something with good graphics, but it has to have good editing programs instead of good, like, I don't want to play games, I just want good sound and graphics so that I can create videos. And I've got editing programs. If it's a Windows-based computer, it's going to have my Clipchamp video editor and a few of the 3D stuff, and then I can install my DaVinci stuff for my other editing software. So I can do a lot, and it only has to be about twice as fast as this in order to be to give me 4 times the output, Yeah. Really. So 3 shows premiered today at 4:15 a.m. I think I'm going to switch that to 3 a.m. so that if I want, I can decide to run them during my pre-show. But, I kind of wanted them to go live at 5 or live at 4:20 or something, but I think what I'm going to do is just leave them the way they are, and then, like tomorrow, during my pre-show, I can use some of the stuff that I uploaded onto YouTube today. And then further on down the line, just keep... Hey, you know what I'm talking about. Jeez, why I gotta explain this stuff? You guys are weird enough to know what I'm saying. If you weren't weird, you wouldn't know what the fuck I was talking about. So let's see, a couple of terabytes. Yeah. So I need to get a 4 terabyte external hard drive, one of them Toshiba dudes. Those are really nice. I like those. My daughter just got one. Formatted it for her Apple computer. And then a good desktop, and then a Chromebook. If I got a Chromebook, then I can use that to stream out of and bypass everything else, or just use it for, more graphics. Use it for research during the show. There's a lot of options for having a couple of extra computers. Because right now I'm sitting here, and if I do anything on this computer, well, I can do stuff, but if I've got stuff happening on my show with this computer, then I can't really do anything with it. It's got to kind of stay. It's got to stay, you know. Shirts. My wife and daughter are pretty awesome about helping me care for and organize all of my T-shirts. I'll have to do some photos for you of my shirt drawers. I used to have them hanging in the closet when I had about 20 or 30 shirts. I'd have them hanging in my closet on hangers and kind of rotate them. Easy to look at and everything, but it started to become, I didn't have any more room for anything else. I had my jackets hanging somewhere else. It's like, I don't put my jackets in there, and I want to fold these things up and stick them in a drawer. And then it was trying to figure out how to fold them a specific way so that I could put them in a drawer at only, about 8 to 10 inches high, probably 8 inches. It's not much. And then fold them in a way so that I can file them, still being able to see what's on the front of them, right? At a glance, I can tell what shirt is where, right? So I've got them filed, and then in the middle, I've got them filed in the other direction because they can't fit widthwise. So I've got 3 rows per drawer, and right now the soft count is about 82 T-shirts. A few of them are long sleeve T-shirts, but they count because they're novelty or concert shirts. And I wear them on the show. So my daughter's like, yeah, they count. Do you wear them on the show? Are they in your rotation of shirts that you wear? Well, then yes, then they count as part of your collection that you count. It's okay. Well, then I'm at about 82-ish. It's hard to keep an accurate count on my shirts because I'm always wearing one, and will have worn 1 or 2 that day. There'll always be a couple in the laundry lying around, hiding somewhere. I even had one in my car for a while. And so it's like, I'm not exactly sure, but from what I gather, it's about 82, right? The last shirt that I got was that last show that we went to, Motion City Soundtrack. Everything is A-OK. So that was my latest shirt acquisition. I love my shirts. I'm not a vain guy. I'm not one of those narcissist guys. I don't spend all day in front of the mirror. Well, I don't spend much time in front of the mirror at all, as you can tell. But I don't wear a lot of fancy clothes. I got a few things that are nice, but for the most part, I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy. And I figure, okay, if I'm a t-shirt and jeans guy, then let me have some t-shirts that say something about me. Before, my black t-shirts said all I wanted to say, right? And every shirt I had was a black t-shirt. Every pair of pants that I had was a pair of black denim pants, and that was it. Black shoes, black socks, black hat. I was just black. Always, everything was in black, and it pretty much reflected my everything. So a couple of years ago, after my father passed away, I decided, I don't know, I gotta change. I gotta do something. He's gone. How long is it going to be before I'm gone? So I gotta make a change. I gotta do something. I gotta live, basically. And I just started, I don't know, decorating me more, caring more about my time, caring more about me, because I never really gave a shit before. I just hide hide from myself, you know, hide. And I'm going to warm this up again. Totally, man. Well, I was kind of hoping that I would get a visit from no wedgie from a new friend on Facebook. This person from Florida hit me up on Facebook. Hey, let's be friends. And I'm like, all right, I've got friends in Florida, so maybe you've already seen me on YouTube, or you're a friend of a friend, or you saw one of my posts or something, because all of my posts on Facebook are public. All of my stuff on YouTube is public, except for the stuff that hasn't premiered yet. So I'm thinking, all right, well, you know, I'm open. I'm trying to be open and be a yes man and try to be nice and make friends and that kind of stuff. So I thought, okay. So I accepted her friend request. And then she sent me a message this morning. Hey, how's the weather out there? You know, just small talk stuff. And I'm always leery about people I don't know sending me messages, especially on Facebook, because a lot of times they have an ulterior motive, you know. You know, they want to sell you, you know, nudie pics or something. You know, join my club and here's my PayPal account. And it's like, yeah, jeez. I'm just not, you know, I'm not into gawking at people's photos. I mean, that's the first thing I go to when I'm checking somebody out on Facebook. All right, do I want to be friends with this person? So I'll check their posts and I'll see what kind of posts they do, or reposts, shares, right? Things they like. And it's like, okay, is this person for me or not? If they have similar likes by their posts, then maybe. And then I'll go to their photos. If their photos are all shared photos from other things, right? Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like this. You know, a bunch of cat photos or whatever. If they get political or religical in any way, I'm out of there. But their photos, as soon as you go to somebody's photos, because it's usually the females that will hit me up on Facebook, hey, let's be friends, and I'll go to their photos. And if their photos are TNA shots, then I know exactly where this is going, and I extricate myself real quick, and I unfriend them and block them. Done. Handled. You know, and I'm not afraid to do that. You know, a lot of people, oh my God, you know, I don't want to offend anyone. I have to be nice to everybody because, you know, if somebody will see that I'm not nice, and then I'll get berated and people won't like me anymore because they'll talk shit on me. It's like, I don't give a fuck. People talk about shit about me my whole life. Like I care what somebody else fucking thinks. So if you're gonna be a dipshit and come after me with, you know, with ulterior motives, then I'm out of there, and so are you. But hey, I'm up for new friends. You know, you want to hang out, talk, share things, watch things, listen to things, you know. It's kind of what this is, you know, trying to create like a forum where other weirdos can hang out and we can talk about weird shit, you know. Most of what I talk about is my weird life because it's been pretty weird. Ever tell you about the time I saw a spaceship? Right? Actually, it was a couple of times. Once when I was 13-ish, I think. We were living in a mobile home park, and it was dusk, and low in the sky, coming real slow across the sky, was an airplane. We thought it was an airplane at first because it was dusk, and at first we saw lights. We saw a triangle pattern of lights. Right? I don't know if my sister's around. Maybe she could vouch for this. It was her and a bunch of her friends and me all standing outside playing in Murietta at a mobile home park, 1980. Probably 1980. I was in the 7th grade. First school during my 7th grade. So we're looking up the sky, and low in the sky, flying slow, was this triangular shaped bunch of lights, right? And it was coming in low and slow. The thing that made it weird was that it was going so slow, right? The fact that it had the lights on it. We were kids, so we saw it looked like the wing, right? What was that called? The U-2 bomber, the flying wing. Okay, it looked like a flying wing, right? Or a stealth bomber. The only thing is that it was flying so slow, right? If it had been flying and gone that low and had been flying at a normal rate of speed, it would have gone by us really, really fast. But the thing was that it was low enough in the sky that it should have gone by fast, and it didn't. It went by really slow. And I don't think stealth bombers or any kind of winged craft flies that slow, right? It has to fly at a certain speed to keep the wing, the air over the top of the wing, the airfoil thing. It doesn't work at a low speed. And I was thinking that's slow. It's going to crash, right? And then, from what I remember, it just sped up and took off. You know? And us kids just thought, well, that was a neat, weird-looking plane, you know? And I don't recall when they were creating the stealth bomber, but this is 1980. I don't think it was the flying wing, because it didn't look like it. It was all black. Sam, leave her alone. Well, doggy. Dogs are out. The dogs is out. The dogs are out. Who let the dogs out?
Hey, Sam. Hey, bud.
Boy, that lava lamp is sure slow to wake up. It's been off all weekend. I try to give it the weekend off because I just leave it on during the week. You know, I use it in the evenings, so it's got to stay nice and bubbly. Psst. Sam, leave her alone, please. All right. Now she drank too much water. Now she's going to wheeze and cough. Psst. Sam. Sam. Leave her alone and lay down. You poor little freak. You poor little freak. Go lay down. You big dummies. Yeah, big coffee. That's what I need. More coffee. Oh yeah. It's Monday. Open mic night. I got to remember to get out to open mic. Oh, man. Okay. I did not expect this. So much for getting to sleep early tonight. Damn it. All right, well, hopefully I'll get my head out of my ass and I'll remember to go. Usually right after the show, I'm on the computer and trying to get things done and ready for the following day. So hopefully I won't get sidetracked. If I do go, I'm going to want to take my wife's car, which means I'll have to empty it out so that if I stay for the whole show, I can bring the drums back, I guess. Unless I can just talk him into taking them home again. I don't mind because they're getting used, you know. When I need them, I know where they're at. Hey, look, I'm back. Did you enjoy that lava lamp? Was that a chip? So I'm hoping that sharing this drum kit pays off, you know, and it has, because it's getting used, and it's getting used with purpose and gusto, you know. And, you know, that's great. That's great. Nice, yeah. What I really need to do is take a bunch of this footage I have of these different open mic deals. Sam, leave her alone. She doesn't need a dentist or an eye doctor or a nose doctor. Psst. Just, you want to get in the chair, Bessie? If you get in the chair, he can't reach you. Come on. Bessie. Want to go outside? All right, maybe they want to go outside then. It's really nice right now. Be the perfect time to go outside. Yeah? Yeah, it's the perfect time to go outside. Good. Dummy. Right. Totally. No wedgie. Yeah. Man. So I lost a subscriber over the weekend, and then last night, yesterday at some point, I got a subscriber again. So I'm back to 150. What is that, sesquicentennial? So I'm, you know, subscriber, that doesn't mean much to me. Losing a friend that I haven't even had a chance to meet yet, that kind of bums me out, right? I wish this was more back and forth, right? Which is kind of why I'm here. But at the same time, if I had back and forth with every subscriber, that would be a lot of friend maintenance, right? And 150 would be kind of pushing it for one guy to be able to deal with on a day-to-day, you know, friendship maintenance type basis. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Oh, look, it's been an hour. It's been an hour. Really? Have I really been on for an hour? Okay, that went by way too quick. Probably because I was fiddling around with all of that computer shit, right? Time's supposed to go really slow when you're bored. I guess I'm not as bored as I thought I was. So yeah, I was really anxious to talk with this lady this morning. So in the message she sent me, you know, I sent a link. And then I think it's possible she showed up for the pre-show and got bored. And thought that that's what the show was about. Which is kind of a bummer. I think I did a wave at some point, but I think she was gone by then. Trying to engage her and get some kind of back and forth. I'm always anxious to find out the female perspective on my show and kind of find out where I set with that part of the community, right? I don't know. It just seems like it would be well-rounded to get input from everybody, you know. And it seems that, except for maybe relatives, there's a lot of guys on my subscriber thing. Of course, I can only see like, you know, like a quarter to less than a quarter. They're 150. I can only see 20, less than 25. So that's like, yeah, that's like what, a sixth or something. Oh my God, it's like no fucking way. Yeah. Well, I think we are going to, at some point this hour, watch Reading, Writing, and Reefer, which is an educational film from 1980 something. I can't remember. It's on my list. So I created a video upload checklist, which is pretty cool. I decided I wanted to keep track of videos that I've uploaded and videos that I'm uploading. So I put together, it's just a little word program. But here, we can look at it. But it's just a YouTube video upload log. That's it. And then it gives me my title, my premiere date, the date I uploaded it or the day that it premiered, and then the length of the video. And my first video was back in October 18th of 22, which isn't that long ago. I can't believe that I've been doing this only 2 years, and my video list is almost 3 pages long and 85 videos, and it's going to be over 100 once the premiered videos premiere. The videos that I have uploaded, they premiere, because there's still about, I don't know, 15 to go, 15 or 16 to go, and that's going to well fill up this area here. So there you go. And that's just so that I can, you know, be anal, I guess, keep track of everything that I'm doing. I really want to try to run this like as professional as I can, even though it's just a hobby. Ain't nobody paying me to do this. I may look into finding out how to set up, if I get to a certain subscriber count, I might look into setting up some kind of donation thing for people if they so desire, you know, because I'm probably gonna like set it up and then have a little tag somewhere that says, if you want to donate, feel free. Maybe after I get to a certain subscriber count, and once this is taking up the majority, well, it's already taking up the majority of my time, right? It pretty much takes over 5 days a week. The mornings, getting ready for the evenings, and resting from the mornings, right? And so I'm really, I'm like on from like 4 a.m. till about 6 p.m., right? Where my day pretty much revolves around this, unless I have other obligations, and then they take precedent. And then I'll usually, if it's something during the middle of the day, I can deal with that and still do both shows. Now, if it's something that happens in the evening, like leaving town, then that is something that is going to probably wipe out morning and evening show, and it'll just have to be made up later. Yeah. But once this, I don't know, then it does. It chews up. If I'm not doing anything on the weekends, nothing, no work, no play, then I'm working on this stuff. So it really is pretty much my whole life, my whole career right now is dealing with this YouTube stuff. And yeah, I don't get paid. I cannot monetize my channel, or I will not be able to use most of the video content that I create. Because I create it using vintage movies, vintage sound, stuff that I'm allowed to reuse, I use, because it's stuff that means something to my past, right? The most of the stuff that I'm sharing with you is stuff that I've been involved with or has been in my life. The old-time radio shows. I grew up listening to old-time radio shows. These educational films that we watch. A lot of these I have actually seen in school. The movies that we watch, some of my favorite old movies. The TV shows and the TV commercials and the TV stuff that we're watching. Some of my favorite stuff, you know. So everything that I bring to you, if it's not mine, it's because it means something in my life at some point, right? Which is exactly what this channel is about. Sharing with you the things that made me who I am and explain why I am who I am, right? So the video log is also going to help me in not just cataloging my videos, because I'm going to do this with my live stuff at some point, and my shorts, everything will be cataloged, so that when I get the next large external hard drive, I'll be getting the YouTube Studio, enhanced YouTube Studio, and downloading all of the live stuff and burning it to DVD. And burning all of the movies that I've made, all these videos, that whole list of videos, everything there will be burnt onto DVDs and onto a hard drive to save. Because as much as I love YouTube here, nothing lasts forever, and this is eventually going to change into something else, or just dissolve or evaporate, and whoosh, there, all of your stuff. You have to join someplace else and have all of your stuff moved over. Will they accept all of your stuff? And it's going to come into a whole big thing. So I really need to try to curate as much as I can while I can. I don't know who else is thinking like this, but I think that it's probably going to be real important for me to try to pull off as much from YouTube as possible that's mine and save it. And then it's gonna be easy to curate down the road. It's gonna be easy to then take and make copies, right? Like one of the things I'd like to do for gifts to people would be a cassette mixtape, right? Take a bunch of music and mix it together, or make a DVD collection of the best of the nighttime nonsense and nostalgia, or the best of morning shows, or the best of my videos, right? Here's all the concert videos on one DVD or a set, right? So if I can eventually do that, and then not to sell, but to share and to save, to curate, to file away, that's kind of who I am, And since the main reason behind doing this whole YouTube thing is to save me, right? Then I need to make sure that everything gets filed away correctly, so that I am saved meaningfully, so that it has, it's easy to view, it's easy to catalog, easy to find what you're looking for, everything's going to be done by date. At some point, someone else will probably go through and decide content, and then add content to the descriptions of these videos. that's a lot to ask for me to go back and rewatch all of my stuff and figure out exactly what the topic of that morning show was, and then to add that to the description, because that should be in there. It's important, but I never have time to go back and say, oh, what did I talk about? Oh yeah, we didn't talk about much. So yeah, I mean, that's a whole big undertaking, but I think it's probably, pretty important for the most part. There's a lot of little, like the videos about the, reading, writing, and reefer, and a lot of the other little movies and stuff, educational films and stuff. They're neat, and to have a collection on DVD or a collection in a file of a lot of these really great educational films, sure. Can I get those on DVD, dude? Yeah, man, totally. You won the prize. You won the drawing, so sure. I could throw that in for you. So, that'd be really neat. It's all about entertainment and telling my story. That's pretty much this channel in a nutshell. Telling my story through entertainment. There's a tagline right there. Because this has got to be the realest reality show out there. I mean, because it does get boring, as does life. It does get weird. It gets exciting. It gets lonely. It gets lonely at the top, yeah. All right. I'm kind of hoping that we're going to get somebody back here soon who is going to what is the violent earth? All right, let me see if I can see if I can just go in and find one of these movies that have already been uploaded to YouTube. That one. That one. Vintage technology. And what did we upload today? We got coffee, reading, writing, and reefer. Uploaded videos. There it is. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I mean, I'd like to talk about movies if somebody's got some movies they want to talk about. Let's see, what did we watch this weekend? I know I sat here and I watched a bunch of movies while I was working. Well, I didn't really watch them. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I get so busy, so wrapped up. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in my channel. I'm trying to balance it between live, because I do 2 live shows, so that's over 4-5 hours of live uploaded every day, 5 days a week. So that's a lot of live. So I'm trying to balance it out with more content. Now, I call it vintage, shared vintage content, right? Old movies, old TV shows, old radio. So I'm trying to create a balance with that as well. I also need to create original content shared vintage content, original content, live content. If I can try to balance it out a little better, I'm going to feel more comfortable handling this, much like a network, which is why I'm trying to premiere stuff during the day, and I'm going to probably go back and readjust my premiere times, if I can, so that they premiere, if I want to do 3 videos a day, they premiere hours apart, so that there's something going on every day throughout the day. Do my morning show, a video, an hour later a video, a couple hours later a video, and then I go live, and then and then we repeat the process the next day. So I'll probably get into write a schedule, a network schedule. Here are my programs, my live programs. Here's my vintage content, the dates and times that it is supposed to upload, and then my created original content, and give those specific time periods. Here's your time blocks, here's your time blocks, here's your time blocks. Right? And give it the old school network spin, right? Yeah. I'm sorry, I flashed back to the 80s. I was sitting in a house in a neighborhood, and it was dark outside, and there were street lights, and then all of a sudden I realized it was a Chuck Norris movie. But I was there because I lived in that neighborhood, 1980s style neighborhood, back in the 1980s, man. Anybody else bored? I feel I need to do something. I don't know when my wife is going to wake up. I know she's taken off to go to Palm Springs this morning. At least that's what I understand. So I guess I may be looking forward to that in a little while. Yeah, so a week from Friday, there's no shows. A week from Friday, the 28th, I believe, the end of the month, the last show of this month, I will not be here. There will be no show the last day of the month. But I will be loading up that day with a lot of content. Right now, that day has 3 items premiering that day. Throughout the day. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try to create some more content for that particular day. I will try to create some original content in the next few days to a week to add to the premiering content. And if you go onto my channel and go to the videos or the playlists, you can see those videos there waiting to premiere. Trying to get people excited about upcoming events. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed, sir. I have to listen for dogs. You never know. You never know when they're going to say, "Hey, I want to go out." Totally. So yeah, I've been digging through my resources to find vintage content, and I think I've hit the mother lode, and I think I'm just going to be able to. It's real easy, right? And that's the main reason why I'm bringing shared vintage content, is because it's really easy for me when I don't have a lot of time to create content. So if I create a lot of vintage content to share, and then fill up the schedule with stuff to premiere every single day, then that allows me to do my morning, do my evening, and then have those extra time blocks to work on specific original content videos, right? And while there's a bunch of stuff that I can't work on because I don't have enough material to create with, there are a bunch of things that I can create with. I'm just going to try to, rather than get fancy about the videos, just create music videos from local venues. And just bring you that music. Just bring those music videos, those little snippets. If it's somebody who's doing a really rapid fire couple of songs in a row, then I may bring it as one video. But if they're like, long 3-4 minute songs, 3 of those in a row, then I'll probably break them up into individual videos. It's better for me. It's going to give me more video content, but and probably better for the viewer. You know exactly what you're going to watch. So I'll be doing a lot of that. I'll be doing a lot of taking a video with 3 songs, breaking it up into 3 songs, and then taking each song, and then creating a video with just the one song. And I'm going to try to train myself to keep it simple, so that I can use the fancy pants stuff for my own personal projects, or projects that people want to collaborate on. And I think if I hone everything down and focus all of my attention onto one of my own music videos and really elaborate on everything, then I think that is going to help me get others involved in wanting to create videos for them, which is kind of what I'd like to do, is like block out a chunk of time and say, okay, look, I've got 3 days, let's shoot some stuff, and then I'll go back and edit it, and then we'll get together and we'll finish it off. I got a few days this week, we'll do this, and then a few days next week, and we'll do that, and then we'll finish it off the following week. And try to do more collaborative stuff. The open mic night stuff is neat. It is collaborative, but it's so much work for one evening. If I were to try to do that and the 2 live shows that I'm doing during the week, no, I'd never be able to pull it off. Never. And I'm having too much fun with both live shows right now to give an inch. If I had a nice Chromebook that had some fast speed and a good internet Wi-Fi signal, whether hotspot or local, and then had a really good camera microphone wired to this thing, right? That's all I would need to do a live open mic. Nothing crazy, And then at the same time, have a phone recording with a good mic the same show from a different angle, so that I could download the live stuff and use the phone stuff and have 2 camera angles to use to create a music video later, right? Which would be perfect. And it would cut down on the amount of work that I would have to do to set up. I open it up, I plug shit in, I turn it on, we're live. That's it. Use a standard condenser mic to pick shit up. Don't get bogged down in bullshit like before. Right? I could totally dig that. Totally. And the setup and the breakdown would just be so, it's like All right, stop the stream, turn shit off, close it up, pack it into a little bag, and gone. You know, no fuss, no muss. No scribbity ribbity. Just do it. Do it to it, prove it. Do it, move on. You know, so that I could leave here at 15 after 6, get there at 6:45, and be live by 7, you know, and be recording whatever's going on by 7 o'clock. Yeah. And it really should be going out live over Bush's YouTube channel. Bush should have a YouTube channel, and he should be going out live. And that's one of the things we need to do. As soon as he and I both have time in the same day that we can get together and get him started on YouTube, you know, write down all the instructions on how to do the live stuff, how to upload videos. And then have it set up so that not only am I going live on occasion with his open mic and recording on occasion, but he's always going live. He should be always going live. Every night he's there, his phone should be plugged in on a tripod and broadcasting live. That's it. You know, plug that thing into the wall socket, get yourself a good Wi-Fi signal, get it in a good spot, and go live. It's so easy, you know. So I can't wait to get together with him and work that out, because I'll share that stuff right over to my YouTube channel, you know. Just bring it in, put it on a playlist, and have his stuff shared over here, so you can watch it in a playlist on my channel, but you're watching it on his channel. You just find it in a playlist on my channel, but you're going right to his channel to watch it, and he gets all of that, because that's the way it should be, right? Like, if I could make a video for somebody, I would upload it on my channel, but at the same time, it would need to be on their channel so that they're getting the response, the accolades. Totally. And I think I'm going to try to revamp my area here. I think I want to try to angle this a little differently so that it creates more of a cubby in here that I can move around in, and perhaps add another table over to this side so that I can kind of come into a booth and work from within it, which means setting up some different camera angles and whatnot. But it should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah, work sure is slow right now. Sure is slow. But I don't mind. I really don't. I mean, I'm broken, so anytime I don't have to go out and scrub a toilet, clean a floor, it's all right by me. You know? We ain't going to dry up and blow away. We ain't going to die because we ain't working. You know, things just, you have to pull the belt in a little tighter. You know, just got to adjust. We keep things minimal as it is, so that when things slow down, we don't lose. We just slow down. You know, it's just the way it is. At the same time, I wish we had a bigger house. I could do so much more if we had a bigger house. If I had one room devoted to this room here, if I could put all of this into a large bedroom or a garage and create a studio like this in a garage, and just dress it up just like a room, right? So that from every camera angle it looks like a den or an office or a studio. And then I would be able to have a wall. I'd be able to have a green screen wall, a wall where I could pull different curtains down to create different scenery. I would have access to more at my fingertips if I had a room or a garage big enough to hold everything all at once. That would be neat. So anybody who wins the lottery out there, if you want to buy me a house, I'd really appreciate it. That'd be totally cool. I wouldn't mind, you know. Nothing big, a little 3 or 4 bedroom house, 2-car garage, big yard. You know, out here probably $500,000, $250,000. You know, nothing too fancy. Nothing I can afford ever. There's no way I'm going to be able to pay on a mortgage, not at my broken state and age. I got no time to pay on a mortgage. It's a 30-year amortized over, you know, it's like, well, that ain't going to happen. I mean, if we're talking 3 years, you know, then I got 3 years to, you know, work my ass off to pay for it. Because I'm looking at about 60 tops. Age-wise, I'm hoping to get to 60 at this point. Of course, if I get to 60, then it'll be like, well, I hope I get to 61. Because I'm glad I wake up every morning. Shit. All right, not every morning. Oh, there's a dog harassing my dogs. I'll be right back. Let me turn this up. Alright, now one of the ladies in the park had her dog, and of course, nobody leashes their fucking dogs around here, because, well, my dog's good, it doesn't bother anybody. And there comes the fucking dog bothering people. Fence fighting with my dogs, you know. She had a leash in her fucking hand, and she's chasing the dog with her leash. Put the leash on the fucking dog. I mean, come on, people. It don't take a lot of fucking brain power to learn how to use a leash. Ugh. Most of the time, the trouble happens because the dog's not on a fucking leash. You know, bad stuff for the people, bad stuff for the dog. Something bad's gonna happen. Put the dog on a fucking leash. You know, it's all it takes. You know, Mai's the best dog in the world. He doesn't bother anybody. He never does anything wrong. Yeah, well, you're a fucking idiot. Put your dog on a fucking leash. You want to think like that? That's fine. Do it in your own fucking home, in your own yard. Otherwise, keep your dog on a fucking leash. You know, if my dog's ever outside off a leash, it's because he's shot by me when I open the gate. You know, and only one of our dogs does that. And then he runs up, and then he runs by me, and then he runs back. And that's his routine when he leaves. And all it's going to take is for some idiot to not have their fucking dog on a leash and to come and attack my dog. And I'm going to go ballistic. I'm going to kill somebody. I'm going to kill a dog. I'm going to kill a human. Or I'm just going to call the fucking police. You know, and have somebody arrested. Because I ain't going there. I done learned my lessons. I've had dogs off of leashes come into my yard and get attacked by my dog because they're not on a leash. And they want to make me responsible for their dog's injuries. My dog's on a leash, yours wasn't. My dog was in its area, yours wasn't. Don't fucking come after me. Ain't gonna fucking happen. You know, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my dog's fault. My dog was doing its fucking job. Stay the fuck out of my yard. Put your dog on a fucking leash. Dog's on a leash, it ain't gonna happen, huh? Problem solved. Yeah, I just don't get people who think that the rules just don't pertain to them. You know, those rules don't mean anything to me. You know, I don't need to drive correctly because it doesn't matter. I don't need to have a license or insurance. You know, I don't need to pay attention while I'm driving. I can talk on the phone. I can be on my phone while I'm driving because I can do it better than anyone. So therefore, it's okay because I know what I'm doing. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's a whole bunch of bullshit. Yeah. Oh, all right. Another dog. Right back. Oh, yeah, I told him, you know, there's no reason to go outside. It's all over. Go back to bed. He comes back and he says, hey, man, there was nothing going on. I got to go back to bed. Bugwit. Yeah. Wow. 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 That's fantastic, man. That's just fantastic. Yeah. So what's been going on out there in the world, huh? Somebody talk to me. Tell me what's up. Somebody entertain me. Because I think I'm just going to keep smoking weed until it's time to smoke more weed. Because that's what I feel like doing, you know? I just feel like smoking more weed. What you gonna do? Smoke some weed. What you gonna do about it? Smoke weed? Yeah. Man. So yeah, Mondays are always rough, you know, because I don't do this 2 days a week, and then when I come back from not doing this, it's kind of hard to get back into the run of things. It's like, oh, I'm going to do movie Monday, and it's like nobody wants to talk about movies, you know. And it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll just play a movie, and then I'll play a movie, watch the movie, and kind of get drowsy. And it's like, well, gosh darn it, And I think the movie that I have for today is like 30 minutes, right? So yeah, totally. Should we watch it? Anybody? Anybody? Should we watch a movie? Reading, Writing, and Reefer? Talking about kids doing dope. I've only seen parts of it because I try not to watch the whole thing. I just try to watch where I need to edit it and to make sure that it's all working. Does it have a beginning? Does it have an end? Does it have a middle? Does the video look okay? And then I'll watch kind of some of the video as it's saving out because that's the way the program works, right? But I try not to watch these things in their entirety so that it's kind of new for all of us, even though sometimes I've seen it before, but you know, maybe not for like 50 years or something. So yeah, totally, man, yeah. But I'm totally up for it if somebody wants to watch a movie. Or we could just talk, you know, or we could cuddle. I don't know. Let's see. My one of my friends that I met over the summer, doing the open mic thing, has just got on YouTube. And if you want to find him, that is how you find him, at Roy Pitluck on YouTube. And if you can, go there and check him out. I don't know what he's got going on yet. He just started, so probably not much. But I had him up here for my first episode. I did a pilot episode, but I had him up here for my first episode of Friday Night Live. And we did an interview, and he played 3 songs, and it was a really cool show. And he stayed for 3 or 4 hours afterwards and had dinner and hung out, got high, and it was really cool. It was really fun. It was awesome. So I'm anxious to see what he's going to have going on his channel. He's a singer-songwriter, so I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of music and poetry and that kind of stuff, and stories from his own personal trials and tribulations on this planet, right? Going in. Somebody going by. Fucking bastard, shut up. Having a show here. But yeah, Roy Pitlick, good stuff. Very funny guy, entertaining, great music, a lot of original stuff. Does a lot of old blues and stuff. Let me check these dogs again. Lord. Oh, Lort. Lort! L-O-R-T, Lort. I am Lort, commander of the 14th Wing. Yeah.
Alrighty then. Yes, sir, indeedy.
So I'm hoping that this evening's show will go off without a hitch. So far, my live stream is really healthy. And I refiled things and so that I can open up 3 files on my screen and then have a one last window for my media player, so that I could just open up my windows and choose what I'm going to play, hit play, and let it play. Write up in my log what I'm playing. While that's happening, choose the commercials, and then I can just hit play there. So everything being in their individual files allows me to, play stuff a lot easier, you know. And then I just click 4 items and hit play. And then the next time I click 4 items, I can shuffle it around, flip the alphabet around and play them in this order. Grab just these and then select from those in reverse or forward, and then just kind of work it like that, so that I've always have things are kind of playing differently, out of order. Most of the time I just play stuff alphabetically, and then just try to bounce around the alphabet starting point. But it's a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot about the music that my father listened to for his radio show. I'm focusing more on 1920s and 30s music, whereas he was anywhere from 1920s up into the 1970s. He would play Janis Joplin, and you know, Bessie Smith, Billie Holiday, and anything in between, right? So I'm trying, copyright-wise, I'm sticking back where I can play stuff that has copyright on it, but I can still play it and still use it as long as I don't monetize, right? And then I'm finding out more and more and more about what kind of content I can share without reprisal from YouTube. And that's a challenge, but I would rather use shared vintage content for stuff, especially background music, like my theme music, than using like YouTube, new created YouTube music that I can use, right? Copyright free stuff. It's okay, but it's a little too over the top. You know, I like the scratchy record sound. I like the old-timey music. And as long as it's something that doesn't have any long-term copyright repercussions, then I'll use it as a theme, because then it'll stay that theme for a long time. I can't wait to start recording this stuff onto hard drive and DVD. Mainly because I like to collect things. I like collections. I like archival things. I like, you know, having all of something all organized out in front of me. You know, one of the things I would love to do would be to take a bunch of one artist's music and put it all onto reel-to-reel, right? And then have that collection. And then maybe perhaps make it double, make it twice, so that I can actually give that collection to the artist himself. And that would be cool, right? That would be way cool. I'd totally dig that. Things are kind of tight right now, which takes a bite out of my subscriber drawing budget, and my shipping and handling budget is down to pretty much nothing right now. So all of my mailing stuff that I got 3 packages that I have to mail, and one of those packages, while it's just about ready to mail, I can't mail it because I don't have the funds to ship it. And then the other 2 smaller packages haven't even had a chance to go out and create those little gift packs. And I shouldn't have to mail one of them because one's local. I should just be able to take it and drop it off, or at least meet on my way into Elsinore and drop it off. But and then the other one shouldn't be too rough to mail. But I'm just going to have to wait. I mean, like I said, this is not a for-profit channel. This is totally non-profit. Everything comes out of my own pocket, out of my family's budget. So it's therapy for me doing the YouTube thing. So I get a decent budget from the family, you know. If it's going to help the show, then it's going to help me, and therefore, ergo, let's spend a few dollars and do this. You know, the extra computer, the audio video mixer, the extra cameras, you know, all in this whole video unit thing here. So yeah, I'm probably going to try to sketch out this room and how I can set up some cameras in here, set up some USB cameras in areas that I can just kind of click them on and, you know, kind of come to you in a little bit different fashion, you know. Like, let's see here. Settings, video, flicker rate, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll set up some USB cameras around the room, and then I'll I'll come to you like this, and then what I'll do is I'll find a way to key over the top of this a television, so that when you're looking at this, you don't see this weird stuff over here on the edges or over here or down here up top. It'll just be the picture within inside of a television, right? So I'm going to try to do something like that, and then I want to try to do a camera looking from back here down at me here, so you see me and what I'm doing. It's kind of a backstage view, right? And then cameras up looking down this way, looking at me from the top down on to this area, and then maybe a camera pointed at my board here, so that I can spin this board around, and now the camera is looking at this board from like my stereo system up here, you know, and then looking down, and then that way I can kind of bounce around the room more, utilizing the USB cameras on my computer to extend my range of cameras. I've still got an empty camera spot right here. There should be a camera there. There's nothing. So that's a spot where I need to try to put a camera. And it's just a matter of getting a camera that works. The camera that I had plugged in just would not work right. The one that got mailed in a bag. Idiots. So I need to try to get another one of those and set that up and get that working, so that I've got my 3 camera angles in here, plus my graphics computer, plus the 4 cameras coming into the graphics computer via USB, which means I got to get another USB hub just for cameras. That'll be neat. That'll be totally cool. And then just set up little cameras all over the room. Figure out how to key up that cool TV over the top of the other picture. That'll look cool. So once again, once I get enough video content uploaded onto my channel so I feel comfortable about taking a little bit of a break, I can then go to school on how to use this stuff a little better and get more out of it, get more bang for my buck. I should be able to key graphics from my live computer here at the same time while going live. I should be able to save everything that I'm doing live here onto a separate hard drive, so that my live stuff going out, eventually I won't have to worry about saving it or retrieving it from YouTube. I will just save it here and then archive it. Get enough episodes together and then burn them to DVD. And then archive it onto a deep vault on an external hard drive somewhere. And then just stack up the external hard drives with the years. This year of YouTube, this year of YouTube, and like that, you know, and try to save as much of this here in the house, in the studio, as possible, so that it's easily accessible, especially for my daughter. You know, computer kid, she'll have no trouble. Plug this in, go to this file, there's all of my stuff. So that's one of those things that I need to do over a period when I'm not doing a lot of the live stuff, because I'll be taking a break for procedural things. And then if I'm real lucky, I'll have the means to be able to archive a bunch of stuff while creating a bunch of stuff too. You know, much of what's going to be happening while I'm on hiatus is going to be shared vintage content and video stuff that I have all of this stock footage and I just need to create videos from it, right? A lot of live stuff, a lot of concerts. you figure there's 12 songs at a concert. How many concerts have we gone to? And my daughter has recorded most of the concerts. That's a lot of video to upload. So that's a lot of shared content. So that'll be great. And then original content. I'll probably be producing a lot, pre-production and during production work on a lot of content. But I won't be doing a lot of post-production stuff because it'll mean voiceover and copy and stuff, and I won't be speaking for a while. So it'll take a little while to get some of the other stuff done. So hopefully I can get some done now, because after a while I just won't be able to do it, you know. I will be on a hiatus, not a low hiatus, but a hiatus. I think it's about time to get some more wheat. It's about time. It's about time. That's what I said. It's about time. It's because it's about time. No, it's all about time, man. It's just totally about time. Save a little bit for later. Save a little bit for later. Yeah, I think a nap is in my future today because I just didn't get my sleep last night. Tonight, God, I want to go to sleep early because of that. So I'll have to get with Bush at some point and find out what is going on. And let him know that if I come out, I'll be there for an hour or two, but then I got to hit it because I got to get some rest. I got to get some rest. I cannot be productive when I'm sleepy all the time. I wasn't sleepy over the weekend, and I was very productive. Once I get it figured out how I can create what I need to create using both computers simultaneously, then I can bang out 20 videos in a weekend, you know. These Grateful Dead concert videos, the entire show, just the audio set to some cool moving graphics, right? Now those are time consuming to create and to save and to upload, so I won't be doing a whole lot of those. I'll probably do a couple of those a month. I was thinking about doing one a week, but that much time that takes up one computer for like 20 hours, you know, and I can't do that. Not every week. I can't create enough content with that much time being drained out of my schedule. Oh, pardonnez-moi. Barp. So, yeah. That's a bummer, man. It's a total bummer. But I love this new computer. Every once in a while it says, I can't handle it, and it crashes, goes to a blue screen. I'm lucky that it doesn't really, you know, doesn't have any other issues after that. You know, I used to dread the blue screen. Now it's like, it's just a chunk of time missing now. You know, wait for it to come back. And it's an okay computer. It's kind of fast, so it doesn't take too long to recover from an episode. So that's okay. So let's see, it's 7 o'clock. I'm not sure when my wife is leaving today or when she's going to wake up. So if that happens, we'll put on the movie. How's that? And then if we put it on and it's late, then I'll just stay a little extra time here. Because I got plenty of time. Plenty of time. Until I don't have any left. And then I have no time. So my time is yours. until it's gone, until I'm gone, and then it's all over. And then what is it? It doesn't matter to me anymore. You know, what am I going to do? Cry about not being here anymore? Sorry. So that place that we begin, right? Do you remember where you were before you were born? Well, that's where we're going when we die. That's it. And nobody knows for sure. So I won't really listen to anyone tell me what's going to happen after. As far as I'm concerned, lights out, party's over. Good night, Irene. That's it. That's all she wrote. The fat lady has sang. Done. End of story. The ball stopped bouncing. The cookie stopped crumbling. It's over. No more beans are being spilt. No more cats out of no more bags. It's over. So, you know, you can throw as many books at me and religions and philosophies and spiritualities and all this other existentialism and stuff, but nobody knows. Nobody's ever going to know until they're there. And then how are you going to tell anybody? You can't. So that's it. When it's over, it's over. Aha, aha. Now when we get to the over and get beyond that, if there is a beyond, then we'll know, right? And then you can go, ah, it's nothing like I was told. But what, you know, whatever. Maybe at the time of dying, your soul and consciousness is extracted by some kind of alien beings, you know, because, you know, they harvest it for food. Fuck, I don't know. Who fucking knows? You can't tell me that you know when nobody knows. We'll have faith. Yeah, okay. Ain't gonna happen. I ain't seen nothing on this planet to give me faith. Hope, yeah. Faith, that's a pipe dream. I don't want to step on any toes or piss anybody off, but these are my feelings. You know, if you're going to shoot me for how I feel, well then, oh well. You know, I don't harass people for how they think or how they feel. It's just different. You know, talk to me, explain to me your differences. You know, I don't have to believe it. I can accept it and be courteous about it. I don't have to believe it. You know, nobody has to believe any of the shit that I say here. You know, of course, I'm as real as they get. This is, you know, the realest reality show out there. Everything that I say is pretty much the truth. He contradicts himself all the time. Shut up, Harry. Leave him alone. He changes. He learns. He evolves. Well, aren't you a genius, Marge? Shut up, Harry. I'm warning you. No, really. I mean, it's, you know, what are you going to do? Everybody's different. Everybody has different thoughts and ideas, you know. I wish more people would pop in and, you know, give me a run for my money. Come on, you know, let's talk it out. Let's talk about stuff. What are your thoughts on these things? Everything we ever needed to know, we learned in kindergarten, or at least we hope so, right? Whatever happened to that? There's a book that we need, you know. Let me write that down. Let me just write down the keyword, kindergarten. Kindergarten. I could probably find that in my resources here. There we go. Kindergarten. Kindergartenary. Okay, dearie. Don't you know? Alright. Yeah. So, how are things out there in TV land, boys and girls? Is everything okay there? Huh? How's it going? Is everything all right? You know what I need? I need more coffee, but I don't think I'm going to get it. There's enough for my wife. I think if I steal any, she's not going to have any. She'll have minimal. But then again, we'll see. If she's going to be taken off, maybe she'll only drink a half a cup or something. Hey, save me the rest. Now, one of my issues going to sleep at night is too much caffeine. While it's okay to have caffeine at breakfast time, especially in the morning here for this, because without that I'm just kind of like, if I gotta go back to sleep, that's happened. But lunchtime, it's okay to have a Coke or something, but I've got to stop with the caffeine at dinner time, because last night I had a late supper at about 9 o'clock. I was like, okay, I had an early dinner, and now, and I couldn't eat most of that. I just had no appetite. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have some leftovers from the night before, a little cheeseburger mac and cheese, and warm some of that up. So I scarfed down some of that, but I had a Coke with it. And I shouldn't have done that because I'm lying in bed. You know, it's a short Coke, but I'm lying in bed at, 11 o'clock. Going, so I need to cut that out. So my schedule needs to reflect my caffeine intake, where, when, and when not to. It's very, very important. Very, very important. Yeah, but we can get this out of here because it's just teasing me at this point. Right? Well, at this point, yeah, the point's on the top of your head. At this point, yeah, what I'm gonna have to do is an actual show at some point during each day of the week that is just the premiere of the movies. On TV Tuesday, there should be a premiere time right after the show where TV shows premiere one after the other so that you can watch them together. And that is probably going to be a better use of my scheduling techniques. Right? So that's what I'm going to have to do, is create a program schedule. So that way we have things happening between the two live shows pertaining to that specific day. Movies, TVs, old-time radio, concerts, and just have it premiere on those days, which is why those days will be labeled those days. Flashback Friday, we're going to have to use that as a kind of a look back at my past, but I'm going to still have to figure out how to create that programming for the day. You know, is that the day that I release slideshows, family slideshows? And so then family videos, family slideshows are on Flashback. Thursdays we do concerts, events. Yeah, so we'll have to work that out so that when you're watching the morning show, you know that after the morning show we're going to watch these things are going to premiere back to back. Yeah. And I think I'll still be releasing one X-1 a day, 5 days a week, so that I can get all of those uploaded as soon as possible and start on another series that I'll upload every day, an episode a day, and get started on another one that's really like Dimension X, do that one next, and then I don't know, something we haven't done yet, but something that is really classic in my life. Maybe CBS Radio Mystery Theater, if they'll let me get away with that one, then we'll do that. Yeah, we'll have to work on that. But a program schedule. Because mornings are just my morning show is pretty much always just going to be me doing this. The pre-show is going to be a rebroadcast of something, and I think post live there should be stuff that's premiering. It's like, okay, I got to be off by 8 or no later than 8:05 or 10, because at 8:20 stuff is going to be premiering and you're going to want to watch that. And I could even go live and premiere it on occasion so that it's premiering, or you can watch me live watching the premiere, right? So that could be something. That could be a show in itself. That's more time of me just sitting here watching stuff. So I probably not. What I should do is have that premiering. It's already on YouTube, premiering, happening after my show, so that frees me up for a couple of hours to work before I take a quick nap and then get up and work some more and do my live and then call it quits for the evening. I really need to have 6 o'clock be my cut-off point, so that I've got time in the evening to spend with the family and then get to bed early, or on occasion go out. Oh man, and going out tonight is looking harder and harder. I'm just going to have to try to get my act together and get out of here at 6. Which means I have to eat before or during the show tonight. Even though I still don't want to drink any caffeine for dinner. And if I do go out, I'm going to have to talk to Bush, because I don't know that I am going to be staying late. Right? I don't know if I'm going to make it to 9. I just don't know, man. That's 9 o'clock. That's pretty late. I should be just laying down at 9. If I leave from there at 8-ish, I can be home and be relaxing in bed by 9 and hopefully asleep by 10. That's pushing it. That's pushing it. I've had such a hectic schedule because of this whole YouTube thing that I really need to work it into a routine of getting more sleep and more nourishment. During my procedural period, I'm not going to have much of a chance for eating. My daughter is talking about protein shakes, and I'm talking about, cooking pieces of meat in small cubes for long periods of time so that it's really, really soft and easy to eat, because it's going to be crazy for a while, and I'm already losing weight, and it's going to be even worse. So I need to figure out what I'm going to be eating during that few months there where it's going to be difficult. So, yeah, it's going to mean a lot of liquid diets. That's all right. A lot of the foods that we've been eating lately have been really, really cooked to a sufficient time. Like her enchiladas the other day, I'm cutting that stuff up and putting it in my mouth, and it's just melting away. The meat, the tortillas, the rice, everything is just like, I don't have to chew this. Mush it against the roof of my mouth, and it's gone. Right? I'm like, all right, I could do this. I could do this. So I'm going to have to come up with a menu of things that I can eat. Macaroni and cheese, homemade macaroni and cheese with slow-cooked chicken. Cut up into it real fine. Or cut up real fine and then mashed so that it shreds. Shredded chicken mixed in. That's easy to eat. Anybody has any suggestions, go ahead and hit me up. I'm looking for high protein, easy to ingest foods.
There's a sound. There's a sound of somebody waking up. It's my sposa. It's my sposa.
She's supposed to wake up? All right. So, okay, this means that I'm going to put on my show now. All right. So this means we're going to go over to here, and we're going to punch this one up, and we're going to put on this movie that premiered today. And then while this is happening, I can actually get something to eat too, because I'm a little hungry. I'm a little bit hungry, babies. All right, here we go. Reading, Writing, and Reefer, an anti-drug educational film. NBC and a Films Incorporated presentation. All right, let me boot this puppy up here. All right, so I'll be hanging out here. I'll be back and forth. I hope you enjoy.
Well, I was walking home and a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to go smoke a joint, so I said yeah, and we went over to his house and smoked a joint.
What'd you do after that?
Then we had decided to come over here, but it was raining, so we just waited till it stopped, and then we came over here, and he smoked a joint with me and my brother.
You still high?
Yeah, a little.
Feel good?
Yeah.
A 12-year-old schoolboy stoned on reefer, marijuana. For years, we have debated the legal and medical ramifications of marijuana smoking. But for the most part, we've talked about adults. All our medical research has been done on adults.
Adults.
This report is not about adults, and it is not about the occasional use
I
of
don't
marijuana.
think young kids should
It is
smoke.
about chronic marijuana smoking by
Not until you're
American
in your
youngsters.
20s or 30s, really.
Suddenly, in just the past few years,
I know from experience
hundreds of
what it'll do to
thousands
you.
of American
All right,
youngsters
people,
have
I'll be
become
around. I'll be
daily
watching.
marijuana smokers. Not experimenters, not occasional users, but chronic smokers. In their own words, potheads. They smoke not just at weekend rock concerts. They smoke every day. And not just teenagers, but children. They are smoking reefer with a frequency and in ways that are potentially disastrous.
How many joints I was smoking was about 100 a week.
100 joints a week?
Mm-hmm. It's about 10 a day, a little more. And usually, a large group that I know, that I'm friendly with, smokes in the morning, smokes in the afternoon, and smokes at night. And any time in between there, too.
To support a habit this extensive, where do these kids get the money?
They work for it. Some take it from their bar mitzvah or confirmation money. Some deal for it.
I like when I get up in the morning, I like to smoke one, or after I eat, I kind of like to smoke one then, or just when there's a bunch of people around, that's when I really like to smoke pot.
What effect do you think smoking marijuana has on your work at school?
Not too good of effect, because when you smoke marijuana, you just don't feel like doing work right then. You don't feel like even getting into it at all, listening or nothing. It just makes it seem like a drag. It makes you feel like you're in a dream. It's not normal, and it's not too active. You're just in between, just right.
NBC News presents Reading, Writing, and Reefer. Reported by Edwin Newman.
Brian lives in Florida, but there are children like Brian in almost every American city. Children who, even before they enter high school, have become veteran marijuana users.
How old were you when you started smoking regular?
About 8 and a half, 9.
How often do you get stoned?
Almost every day.
How does it make you feel?
Good. I just feel relaxed, you know. Just like to sit there and watch TV or do something.
Could you tell us about your smoking habits? When do you light up your first joint?
Well, on the weekends when I first get up, after a while, I just smoke a couple joints to get off, and then I just wait a while, and then after I've gone down, and I smoke some more. And on weekdays, I usually don't smoke in the morning, but sometimes I buy a couple joints and go up to the bus stop, and we match each other. But usually I just wait till after school and come home and get high with my brother and stuff.
Do many of your friends smoke at school?
Yeah, almost all of them. About 20% don't.
What grade are you going to be in this year?
8th.
Like most of the children you will meet in this report, Brian lives in a pleasant neighborhood. He is not a deprived child, he is not a delinquent, he does not like alcohol, tobacco, or PCP. Smoking marijuana, toking they call it, is what he and his friends prefer. And their entire lives have come to revolve around what they call copping a buzz.
How many joints do you smoke a day?
Around 5. Sometimes more, because sometimes, like, there's a party Friday night or something, we just smoke almost our whole bag, say.
When you say you smoke 5 joints, by yourself?
No, with friends, like just friends of mine.
How many joints does it take you to get high?
Probably just about a half a joint, not even that much. Just about 3-4 tokes, and I've copped a buzz.
And how long does the buzz last?
About an hour.
And then you toke up again?
Yeah, I just take like 3 or 4 more tokes and then just put it out and save it for after a while.
Often, by the time Brian boards the morning school bus, he and some friends have shared their first joint. Sometimes they decide not to go to school. In one 9-week period last year, Brian skipped school 16 days without his mother's knowledge. He spent those days stoned on marijuana. There was a time when Brian was an excellent student, interested in school. That has changed.
I just feel good getting high in the morning at first, but then after a while, I just get real tired and fall asleep in class and stuff.
I feel it has made him sort of forgetful and just not really caring like he used to. But now that I realize that he smoked some before school, now I can really see why his grades have gone down.
What happens if you're sitting in a classroom high and a teacher is giving a lecture?
I just sit there. I listen, but I don't remember it after she said it. So she said something and she'll call on me to answer the question. I'll say, what? What?
They are using it often, every day, and many times throughout the day. And I to be honest, didn't even realize how often my own son was using it till this interview.
Experts like Dr. Robert DuPont believe that many adults are not aware of the extent of their children's smoking.
No, they're not. And I think this is a very sad fact. Over the age of 25, the levels of marijuana use fall very dramatically, and over 30, they fall to practically zero in the total population. So that people who are adults don't see very much marijuana use and are utterly unaware of both the extent of it and the rapid increases that are going on in marijuana use. You see it going on all over the country right now, involving schools, involving parents, everybody. People don't want to see the problem.
They don't understand it. You know, they try really hard to understand it, but they don't know what's going on, and it's hitting them really hard, you know.
What is going on?
Their kids are out getting high.
Dr. Johnston, your annual surveys of American high school seniors show a steady rise in the number of students who are daily habitual smokers of marijuana. Is that trend continuing? What do your 1978 figures show?
Yes, it is continuing. We're finding that among the most recent high school class, 1978 seniors, that about 11% are reporting daily or near daily marijuana use. And this figure is up considerably from an earlier class, 1975, where the comparable number was about 6%. So the number of daily users has nearly doubled in 3 years.
What that University of Michigan study means is that nationwide, 11% of all American high school seniors were smoking marijuana every day. Those are just high school seniors. An official government report says that in 1977, more than 4 million young Americans, ages 12 to 17, were what the report called current users of marijuana.
It's no longer uncommon for 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and even younger people to be using marijuana on a regular basis.
I think it's important that during this same period where we've been observing a constant increase in marijuana use, the proportion of young people who are involved with other illicit drugs has remained very stable, almost exactly where it has been over the last 4 years.
Lisa is 15 now, but she has been smoking marijuana for a long time.
When did you start smoking regularly?
In the 7th grade.
How much did you smoke?
About 4 or 5 joints a day.
How long have you been smoking 4 or 5 joints a day?
3 years.
What effect did it have on you?
I like the high.
What was it about marijuana that made it so important to your life?
When you get high, you mellow out a lot. You forget about your problems, school, tensions.
Do many of the kids smoke as much as you do?
Mm-hmm.
Chris attends the same high school as Lisa in a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. He became a marijuana user at age 11. Now he's 15 and a heavy marijuana smoker.
Well, when I don't have it, it depends on how many people, you know, front it to me or whatever you want to call it. Like, when I don't have it, I smoke between 10 and 15 a week, not including Friday nights and Saturday nights. And then when I got it, I smoke twice that much.
You smoke 30 joints a week if you have a bag of your own?
If I got a bag of my own, it's usually gone in 2 hours.
Why do you smoke that much? What do you get out of it? You just like the high?
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice feeling. You can sit back and relax and listen to the music and have your fun. Like you smoke your first joint, and if you've been smoking it a long time, then you get your buzz, you know, going. And that's when your head's kind of like, it's just barely on the tip where you want more, you know. And then by the time you smoke the second joint, you'll be high, and then you're just like, you're relaxed, and you don't let nothing bother you, and nothing ever bothers you. When you're normal, every little thing, you know, could bother you, but like when you're high, you don't let nothing bother you, let it pass by.
Seriously, how has it affected your grades?
Well, my grades were all right till I hit the 7th grade, and that's when I started getting high, too. The highs are more important than the grades, more or less.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't really know. I had no idea.
But you want to be a marijuana smoker?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I know I'm going to be that.
So he went into his father's room and killed his father with the axe. And then, when his mother stirred in her sleep, he killed her with the axe.
These are scenes from the anti-marijuana film Reefer Madness, released in 1936.
The demons of marijuana were not satisfied. He went from there into his brother's room and killed his brother.
In those days, marijuana was called the devil's weed. Films portrayed marijuana as the certain cause of murder, insanity, and sexual depravity. With publicity like this, it's not surprising that by 1937, marijuana was illegal in America. But the anti-marijuana propaganda was so distorted and heavy-handed that it produced a backlash. There was so much exaggeration of the evils of the drug that many people stopped believing any bad news about marijuana. That skepticism is still with us. And it's one reason that today's young pot smokers are reluctant to believe that marijuana is anything but a harmless herb. That attitude is encouraged by advertisements like this one, suggesting that Uncle Sam wants you to smoke marijuana through a water pipe, or what potheads call a bong. Peddling the paraphernalia of marijuana smoking has become a $250 million industry. Much of the advertising seems to be aimed at young people, like the Space Pistols, designed not for games, but to squirt marijuana smoke into the lungs. And there's a Frisbee called Catch a Buzz. It has a built-in pipe for smoking marijuana between tosses. Milk and cookies are used as a background to...
If somebody can find one of
paper.
those Frisbee
These days, not
pot
many
joint
Americans roll
things,
their
I
own
want one.
tobacco cigarettes, but a lot of people, including children, roll joints. The rolling paper comes in strawberry and banana flavors. All of these advertisements appear in High Times magazine, a publication aimed at the American drug culture. Many youngsters told us they got most of their news about marijuana from High Times. And from such a source, they are not likely to get much adverse information about the drug. The implication of some advertisements is that reefer is good for everybody, regardless of age. Some young people have come to believe that.
Like a friend of mine, they have a kid, and he gets high. Even one night we got him high. He's about 2 or 3.
How do you get a 2 or 3-year-old child high?
You just teach him how to toke it, and he tokes it. Then he starts getting red-eyed, then you know he's high.
How did he act?
Then he starts jumping around.
Do you ever think that regular marijuana smoking, the kind of smoking you do, and the kind of smoking your friends do, 10, 20, 30 joints a week, might turn out to be harmful to your health?
No, I don't have a doubt in my mind, you know, that it'll hurt me. It won't never hurt me, I know.
No, I don't really think it could harm you. And I don't really think it does nothing to your body except, you know, sometimes make you just feel like a statue or something. Not really like that, but where you don't want to move.
Young pot smokers are fond of praising the pleasures of the simple weed. Marijuana is a weed, but it contains over 300 chemicals. 60 of those chemicals are found in no other plant. The most potent of them is called THC. THC is the major intoxicating element in marijuana, which this is, grown in a government laboratory. THC is what makes the pot smoker feel high. Now, the THC content, and therefore the potency of marijuana, can be increased by selective cultivation, and that is happening. On the average, the marijuana available in our streets and schoolyards has become more than 10 times stronger in just the past 4 years. Now, potheads like this so-called good material, but it means that just as our children are taking up chronic pot smoking at a younger age, The chemical content of the marijuana they're smoking is growing stronger and stronger. When the pot smoker uses that good material, the smoke carries a variety of chemical compounds to the lungs. Within seconds, the THC begins to circulate throughout the body, carried by the fatty particles in the bloodstream. Almost instantly, there is an effect on the brain. As with alcohol, the human thought process is chemically altered. This state of intoxication is what getting stoned is all about. Along with the intoxication, the heartbeat increases dramatically. This is why many scientists believe that no one with a heart condition should use marijuana. Unlike alcohol, the THC from marijuana remains in the body for a long time. Up to 3 days after you've smoked a joint, half the THC is still in your body, where it tends to accumulate in the reproductive system, the brain, and other vital organs. Just how long the last traces of THC remain in the body, no one knows. The more you smoke, the greater the accumulation. That may be one reason that heavy smokers seem to develop a tolerance. They have to smoke more marijuana or stronger marijuana in order to feel high. But what concerns scientists are the potential long-term effects of THC accumulating in the vital organs. No one knows what those effects will be, but many scientists are particularly concerned about the chronic use of marijuana during the formative years of childhood and adolescence. Dr. Sidney Cohen of UCLA is among them. Dr. Cohen, are you more concerned about marijuana use by young people than you are about marijuana use by adults?
Yes, I am, and especially for the following reason. Not only do they have longer periods of time to be exposed to marijuana and therefore possibly harmed by it, but youth is a time of learning how to deal with life, how to cope, how to deal with stress, how to manage anxiety. If you don't learn it then, when do you learn it?
Are you saying then that marijuana would stand in the way of young people going from adolescence to adulthood?
To psychological adulthood, yes. And this can be dangerous. And this is why I'm particularly concerned about very young people, and we're hearing now of 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds becoming over-involved in this drug.
Young people themselves are discovering at least one effect of chronic smoking. They call it being burned out. The first symptoms are a drastic change in the way marijuana makes you feel.
When I first started getting high, I'd be laughing and everything. But lately, I just get kind of mellowed out and I don't say much. I become real quiet and everything. And I don't know if the high, I guess I'm kind of sick of the high.
Well, usually a new smoker, is real active, tries to make everyone laugh at them, and is always talking and moving around doing something. But the people who've already smoked or burn out, they just like to sit around, watch TV, or they don't like to do much.
What stage are you in?
Just sitting around stage. I don't do much. I just sit around, pick something to eat. It just makes me drowsy and just like to sit there and not move. Say I'm thirsty, I'm just so plumped out I don't even want to go get something to drink.
You are high, but you don't consider it as high. It's just another thing. And you'd have to smoke more of it once you've smoked it a while than you would if you've just started smoking it. Like, instead of one joint, it'd take 2 or 3 joints. So.
Is that why you smoke more now?
Yeah.
The young man we're talking to spends a lot of time just sitting and listening to music. Keith is 16. He's been a daily marijuana user for more than a year. Now his friends call him burned out.
Being burned out, that's just, you don't get high when you smoke it, or you just, acting kind of really dumb, you know. Somebody, they'll talk to you and you don't hear them or you don't pay attention to them. That's when people start calling you burnout.
You have trouble with your memory?
Yeah, you forget what you're saying.
Who told you you were burned out, and why did they tell you that?
Just my friends clowning around, you know, they're saying, "Oh, you're burnt out," you know.
What were you doing that made them say that?
They'd be talking to me, and I'm just not paying attention and not realizing that they were talking to me.
I've seen this too, and it's entirely possible that youngsters who smoke lots of good pot over long periods of time sustain some mental impairment which is not completely reversible. It may go on for months, and there is a suspicion that some of it may be permanent, so that they're not as keen, as sharp as they were previously. This may not be perceived by the youngster.
I say, "Hey, burnout, you know, we're talking to you." But I don't consider myself ever being burnt out. I don't know, you know. They may say that I am, but I don't.
Have you ever seen other people who you think are burnout who don't think they're burnout themselves?
Yeah, I do. When I smoke by myself, I just think about things. And, you know, you can just think about things that you don't think about when you're not smoking it. Just not anything in particular, just anything, really. You can just, you're not bored because you kind of like got something to do. You know, you're thinking. Or you're just doing something.
But you're sitting still.
Yeah. And you don't think to yourself that you're sitting still not doing anything. You're sitting still thinking about things. And you don't think to yourself that you're bored. At least I don't, anyway.
Have you ever done anything when you were really stoned that you were really proud of? You know, put a bike together or anything like that? Or is it mostly just sitting when you are stoned?
Well, I may have done it, but I don't really remember it, you know. Just nothing that's really important. When I'm stoned, I just like sitting back and just listen to music mostly. That's what I like doing when I'm high.
But if you stay stoned most of the time, that means that's what you do most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what parents can do because I've tried everything. I know, I've asked, I've read, I've studied, I've prayed. I'm still looking for an answer. I'm not going to give up hope because I am that fearful of it. I'm afraid that the effects will be very major. And it's going to be found out at a point of no return as far as the youngsters that are engaged now in it.
Basically, a young person who is chronically stoned is not coping with the important tasks of growing up. He is going to be diverted from the normal growth and is going to find himself further and further behind his peers.
Kids don't think about their future because they don't...
This young man is a member of an organization called Pot Smokers Anonymous. He quit marijuana when he began to see the effects of chronic smoking on his own life.
I was getting a little lazy, and I figured that sooner or later I was going to get burnt. I was going to have the burnout feeling, as you said. And then sooner or later I was just going to be totally wasted. And I didn't want to be it that way. I want to make something of myself.
Well, some of them will stop, I would hope, and recoup. Others who continue to use this good material and continue over many years may be so impaired that they will never function at their best level of effectiveness.
Keith Strupp is the Washington lobbyist for NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. He'll soon be leaving NORML, but in the past 8 years he's done a great deal to make America more tolerant of marijuana use by adults. Keith Strupp believes that the use of marijuana should be restricted to adults. He's worried about the increase in chronic marijuana smoking among young people.
There is a tendency on the part of young people today to underestimate the potential for harm from psychoactive drug use, I think. I would caution them against this. There is no such thing as a totally safe drug, and I don't think marijuana is going to be the first. It should obviously not be a daily habit, and in particular, it should not be something people do before they attend school or before they study for exams or things like that.
In the White House and other key government positions, Dr. Robert DuPont also helped to liberalize American attitudes toward marijuana. Now in private practice, he has had second thoughts. In the past, you've said publicly that marijuana is less of a hazard to health than tobacco or alcohol. Why have you changed your mind?
For two reasons. One is we know a lot more about the health hazards of marijuana now and how dangerous it really is. But two, and equally important, is that I now realize that this has been interpreted by the public as meaning marijuana is okay. We're so used to alcohol and tobacco that we assume if marijuana is no worse, then why not get used to marijuana? That is a disaster, and I feel very badly to have contributed to that.
Just as for 20 or 30 or 40 years, people oversimplified and exaggerated the dangers that might be present from smoking marijuana, I think there is a tendency today, especially among young people, to assume the other direction, that because marijuana isn't a killer drug, that therefore it's totally harmless, or in some cases they actually believe it's a panacea.
Marijuana is no panacea, but like any other drug, it does have potential medical applications. For example, it's believed to be useful in treating certain kinds of glaucoma. And here at the National Institutes of Health, it's being tested as a means of relieving the agonizing side effects of chemotherapy in some cancer victims. And there are other current experiments. But all of them are just that, experiments to determine whether marijuana, or in some cases THC alone, can help the victims of serious disease. The problem is that by the time news of these experiments reaches the schoolyard, the information has become garbled. Some of the children we spoke to were convinced that marijuana had been proven to be a safe medicine for asthma, cataracts, even cancer, and that marijuana was not merely harmless, but beneficial, like vitamin pills.
And a lot of people think if they smoke, then their lungs will be all right, and they don't think it's something bad for you.
I heard that it helps your lungs, as a matter of fact. That's why I thought it's kind of good to smoke it.
Well, I know where this myth starts. It starts at UCLA, where we studied this problem and did find that THC, even marijuana, will dilate the bronchial tubes. Now, unfortunately, marijuana is not good medicine for asthma because it has so many irritants in it.
With cancer, there's another confusion. Marijuana is used for people who have cancer and who are getting cancer chemotherapy and have nausea and vomiting because of the cancer chemotherapeutic drugs, and marijuana does reduce the nausea and vomiting. It has nothing to do with cancer whatsoever. The very same people who think marijuana is harmless think it is a therapeutic agent. Well, the only reason it could possibly be a therapeutic agent is because it's a very powerful chemical. If it weren't doing anything in the body, it wouldn't be potentially useful for a therapy.
Most of our knowledge about the chemicals in marijuana comes from these plants. This field is part of a government research project at the University of Mississippi. The director, Dr. Carlton Turner, supervises the cultivation of the marijuana for scientific research. He also analyzes the chemical content of marijuana seized on the streets. He's worried about the presence of carcinogens, that is, known cancer-causing agents, in marijuana smoke. Because pot users smoke less than tobacco users, they have generally assumed that there is no risk of lung cancer from marijuana smoking. But with the quantities of potent marijuana that today's young chronic smokers are consuming, Dr. Turner thinks there is a risk.
I would say that there's more tar in a cannabis cigarette than there will be in a tobacco cigarette. And the tar here is of a different chemical composition. Some of the chemicals that you find in tobacco smoke, you also find here. In fact, you have more carcinogenic compounds in the smoke from a cannabis cigarette than you do from a single tobacco cigarette of the same size.
Most young people already know that the tar in tobacco smoke contains carcinogens, which can cause cancer. But many do not know that research has shown even more carcinogens in the tar from marijuana smoke.
The plain fact is that the chemicals are there that do cause cancer, and we know that, and we ought to get that message out, that that is a serious problem and a major threat.
Remember that marijuana is kept in the lungs for a long time, much longer than tobacco smoke. It gets way down into the small bronchi, and it's entirely possible that, since it does contain coal tars, that it's a possible cause of cancer.
Considerations of cancer aside, is it possible to compare the effect of a marijuana cigarette on the lungs with the effect of a cigarette made of tobacco?
Yes. In our study at UCLA, Dr. Tashkin found that 5 marijuana joints had the same effect as smoking 112 tobacco cigarettes.
Dr. Tashkin's study was the first direct comparison of the effects of marijuana smoke and tobacco smoke on the human lungs. It showed that 1 marijuana joint produced the same amount of lung inflammation as more than a pack of cigarettes. That lung inflammation shrinks the air passages, making it more difficult to breathe. So the effect on a child's lungs from 5 joints a week is the same as smoking more than 5 packs of cigarettes a week. Let's talk about you, Mr. Strupp. You gave up cigarettes, tobacco, years ago.
Almost 10 years ago, right.
You've smoked marijuana daily for about 10 years.
Correct.
You have bronchitis.
Or at least I seem to cough in the mornings, right.
You cough in the morning sufficiently to make you think you'd better go have a checkup.
That's correct. Well, you know, I'm no different, I suppose, than alcohol drinkers or cigarette smokers at times. I've never known a cigarette smoker yet who didn't occasionally say he was going to quit and occasionally curse the day that they started as they were coughing in the morning, etc. I feel a little of that. I mean, I think marijuana smoking on a daily basis is almost bound to cause some complications in your lungs because you are bringing in smoke into your lungs, and I doubt that that's healthy. I've noticed myself in the last year in particular, I seem to cough in the mornings very much like a cigarette smoker.
Just take a joint like this. Another person comes up to you.
And they blow on that and blow all the smoke right into your lungs?
And you can take it through the nose, too.
Really? What does that do for you?
You cop a super rush, because it's a lot bigger than a toke.
And are all the kids doing this?
Some of the younger ones, you know, don't know how yet or are scared to. Fact of the seeds popping in your mouth, the fire falling down. Some joints tend to run, you know, and the fire can go in your mouth, and it hurts.
Here we're taking a substance, a smoke, inhaling it, and unlike a cigarette smoke, the person purposefully inhales very deeply and then holds it to get the maximum exposure to the deepest part of the lungs. Well, this is a disaster in terms of health consequences.
I don't think it's possible to bring a foreign substance into your lungs, as you do with marijuana, and expect that if you use enough of it over a long period of time that you're not going to have some ill effects. I think you will.
But there is a more immediate effect to marijuana use, intoxication. Now, this device attaches to an automobile dashboard so a driver can toke marijuana while he travels the highway. I'm using pipe tobacco, by the way. The popularity of a gadget like this is another example of how misinformed some of our young people are on the intoxicating effects of marijuana. They have been educated about the dangers of mixing alcohol in driving, but many still cling to the notion that marijuana is different and safe. But tests at the Southern California Research Institute have shown that marijuana severely impairs a driver's perception, concentration, reaction time, and overall driving skill. The tests show that the decrease in driving ability is directly related to the amount of marijuana smoked. They also show that this impairment of driving ability persists for several hours, even after the marijuana smoker no longer feels high. But again, the facts about what this can mean on the highway have not reached many of our young people.
Well, I think anything that you can do when you're straight, you can do when you're high.
Including driving a car?
Including driving a car.
On marijuana, you hardly ever hear any car accidents on marijuana, because you always know what you're doing.
For whatever reason, alcohol drinkers for a long time used to claim that they could get drunk and drive all right. It seemed to them they drove all right, even though they ran into the rest of us, and a lot of other people knew all along they couldn't drive well. Well, marijuana smokers, I'm afraid, have fallen for that same line of self-congratulatory. They've generally told each other, hey, man, I can smoke the best marijuana in the world and drive, and it's not like alcohol, it's okay. Well, that's simply not true.
It is a major source of death, of injury, of property loss in the country right now because of drivers stoned on marijuana.
Let me make it clear that the research is now convincing that you should not smoke marijuana and drive an automobile, period. Whether you're an adult or a juvenile doesn't make any difference.
Why isn't this information available to young marijuana smokers?
Just because of our worrying about having every I dotted and every T crossed. We're not saying it clearly, but the evidence is there.
You'll go into health class and there's about maybe a 3-page thing on drug abuse and drugs, and it just says marijuana, mild hallucinogen, and that's just about it.
Would it be fair to say, Dr. Cohen, that the young people in the United States who are now using marijuana regularly are in effect the guinea pigs in an experiment on a national scale?
Well, they're certainly doing things to themselves that we, as researchers, wouldn't do or wouldn't be allowed to do. So, yes, they are guinea pigs. We are learning some of the unhappy sides of marijuana from them.
I think they're making themselves guinea pigs. There's no doubt about it. They are skating on the thinnest of thin ice, and it's a hope that they have that they're not running a very severe health hazard, health risk. I think they're going to lose their bets.
Besides the potential health consequences for the chronic smoker, there's another aspect of the growing use of marijuana by the young. Those 4 million juveniles who use marijuana, even if they merely experiment with it or use it occasionally, have one thing in common. They are breaking the law. In a legal sense, at least, they have become a generation of outlaws. They're on the receiving end of a vast criminal network of marijuana growers, smugglers, and distributors. In many cases, our children are part of that criminal network. It begins here, in the marijuana fields of Colombia, the major source of supply for America's multi-billion-dollar marijuana industry. Officially, marijuana cultivation is illegal in Colombia. But in fact, there is 10 times more marijuana grown in Colombia today than there was just 5 years ago. Nearly all of it is destined for the United States. Most of it leaves Colombia from the northern Guajira Peninsula. From there, a steady stream of freighters, fishing boats, even yachts carries it to delivery points all along the United States coastline. In addition, aircraft leave the Guajira regularly, smuggling tons of marijuana as far north as Chicago.
Obviously, when you're talking about ships bringing in 20 or 30 tons of marijuana at a time, you're not talking about a group of college kids that are off on a lark at spring vacation. You're talking about a syndicate, organized crime. It may not be the mafioso, but it's certainly organized crime dealing in millions of dollars. Sometimes violence. It's a culture that none of us are very proud of.
A charter member of that culture is pilot Robert Eby, now in prison. Last year, Robert Eby was arrested when his DC-4, loaded with Colombian marijuana, became stuck in the mud at an airport in Virginia. Before that, he'd made 30 smuggling flights, penetrating the American air defense system each time.
Coming back to the United States, you listen on the radio for flight plans to be filed. And coming out of the Bahamas and out of a lot of Latin American countries, there's no telephones or facility to file a flight plan other than when you get in the air, then you file it over the radio. You listen for somebody to file a flight plan, and being you're in a faster aircraft, say a DC-4 over 172, you try to catch up to where he's at. And before he penetrates, you're on his tail about 30 feet behind him.
So you're piggyback on another plane?
Piggyback on another airplane. And somebody that isn't aware that you're even there. If you'd ever look behind him and see he's about to be eaten up by a big airplane, he'd probably have a heart attack.
Today, the bulk of the incoming marijuana is hauled by freighters like this one. They make offshore deliveries to Americans who smuggle it to distributors' warehouses. There is so much coming in that marijuana literally washes ashore on some Florida beaches. The fact is that despite the best efforts of the American government, this country is being flooded with marijuana.
If you just look throughout the country, marijuana is pervasive. It's all over, at every social level throughout the country. We have made some significant cases. We're continuing to investigate other cases. However, the flow is just so enormous that we are inundated.
I don't really have to go out and find it. It's just somebody comes up and say, hey, you want to smoke one? It finds you more or less than you find it.
If you got the money, you can get the quality to match it. Because I know you can get, all right, green pot is supposedly the worst. Now, don't get me wrong, there's very good green pot also. And then there's gold, which is usually always good. Now, the gold will cost you more than the bad stuff. But if you have the money, you can get just about anything.
We can't essentially deal with the problems of the black market, problems like age controls and quality controls and strength controls. You can't begin to address those problems until you first eliminate the black market and offer a regulated legal market.
I wouldn't recommend that now. It's true we have some, what should we call them, recreational drugs now that are legal and that we wish would go away. But that doesn't mean that we ought to add marijuana to that list.
Do you think marijuana should be legalized?
Yeah. If I was president, I would have had it legalized a long time ago. Because there ain't nothing wrong with it.
What would be the big advantages of legalization?
Well, then them people in the store, you'd probably be able to just walk in the store and get a pack of joints, you know, like cigarettes. And then they'd have different brands, I guess, you know, Colombian, Mexican, whatever you want.
Our experience with alcohol and tobacco is so bad that to think about that as a precedent for dealing with marijuana is just, to me, an unthinkable idea.
That debate over legalization has been going on for a long time. While it has, many American schoolyards have become retail outlets for the marijuana industry. In a recent Gallup poll, 81% of American high school students said that marijuana was easy or fairly easy to obtain. Nearly 60% of junior high school students said the same thing. And some children are not just buying reefer, they're selling it. Often they are chronic smokers who deal in order to finance their own marijuana habits.
They usually are selling joints at the bus stop or bags, whatever, during lunch, after school.
Well, once you get a bag, you just roll up joints and sell them. You get your money back, and then you keep what's left over.
Usually when you start, you buy a quarter pound, which is 4 ounces. And that goes for anywhere between 100 and 150. But usually it's about 125. So then you take 3 of those ounces, and you sell them for about 45 apiece, and then you make about $10 and an ounce for your head.
That's for your own use?
Yeah, for my own use. It's just my terms.
Are a lot of kids dealing?
Not a lot, but I'd say enough. Enough to supply the whole entire school.
If they arrested everybody that had some, they'd be arresting just about everybody. Everybody that's, you know, about 13 on up.
To cut down on arrests, some states, like Alaska, have passed decriminalization laws. Basically, this makes the possession of small amounts of marijuana a minor offense, with no jail term or criminal record involved. So far, 11 states have passed such laws. Some people think that's a step in the right direction. Others think that this relaxing of the rules for adult smokers has further confused young people on the subject of marijuana. But you were in the government, Dr. DuPont. You were one of the first policymakers to advocate that criminal penalties be removed for the possession of a certain amount, a small amount of marijuana. Do you think there's a connection between the growing acceptance of that, of decriminalization, and the increase in the number of young marijuana users?
I do, and I think it's tragic. It relates to the fact that for most people, they can only think about an issue in black and white terms. They see support for a fine as opposed to a prison sentence for marijuana possession as being pro-pot. The public, the policymakers, everybody is still way too confused about marijuana. We're not giving clear messages to young people, to anybody about marijuana yet, and we've got to change that.
What is the clear message you would give?
That marijuana is a dangerous drug.
I think our obligation is to convince people that even if marijuana is dangerous to use, it's not a criminal justice problem. And those who use it should be provided with good information. We should try to convince them that it's not in their best interest to endanger their own health, but we should not confuse them with criminals.
The drug problem is filled with many unpleasant realities. There's none more unpleasant, more painful, or more surprising than the large number of young people who are using marijuana every day and whose lives are affected, distorted, and harmed in many, many ways.
What would it take to convince you to stop?
Well, if I heard something was bad, like it could kill you or make you real sick or something like that, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't smoke it.
What should our society do about a 12-year-old who smokes marijuana daily? Before we can do anything, we must recognize that Brian and hundreds of thousands like him are a new and special problem. Up to now, our national debate has concerned itself mainly with the occasional use of marijuana by adults. That debate is not likely to end soon. But our children cannot wait. We have to tell them something now. Admittedly, there are still some important things that we don't know about the long-term effects of chronic marijuana use on the human body, especially on children. But in the meantime, our children are not being given the knowledge that is available now. They've not been told that the marijuana they are smoking is 10 times as potent as the stuff that college students were using 5 years ago. They've not been told about the cancer-causing elements in marijuana smoke. Many of them don't even realize that marijuana makes it dangerous to drive a car. It is not the children's fault that they don't know these things. It is the fault of our government, of our schools, of all of us. Edwin Newman, NBC News.
Well, that was an eye-opener, wasn't it? I actually agree with most of what was said there, which was surprising. I thought it was going to be propaganda crap, right? I totally get it. I totally agree with everything they said about using using marijuana at an early age. Not a good idea. This comes from experience. I know. I was there. I started smoking at 15. Started playing around with it as early as 11, and then started smoking regularly at 15. While I didn't sell marijuana to support my habit, I did sell marijuana to buy food so that I could feed myself. But that was it. Yeah. It looks like somebody has somebody's leaving comments here on the videos that premiered this morning. So Barry I seems to know a lot about all of this old stuff here that I'm putting out. which is cool. That's awesome. Somebody's actually has insight into this stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool stuff there, yeah. Yeah, alright. So, yeah, just about everything there. The effects on kids, the effects on the human body, the way that it affects the mind, you know. His comment is originally telecast on April 17, 1979 as part of NBC's special treat series of occasional daytime specials for kids and teens. I did not know that. That is very, very cool. Thank you, Barry. Thank you very much for the information. I appreciate it. I'd like to... It's nice these comments are with the video now, so people are actually learning a little bit more than what I'm bringing them. That's totally cool. That's awesome stuff there. Very, very cool. Show's running a little bit long today. The Sposa got up a little bit late, so I started the movie while she was puttering around the house getting ready to leave. And while she's still here somewhere, I am here. And then what I think I'm going to do now is play for us actually, I'm going to go back and check and make sure that there hasn't been any stipulations put on the playing of this video so that I can possibly share it. Or maybe I should just wrap the show up, call it quits. Maybe we should do that since we've gone over. We've totally gone over today. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. And then I can get my act together, eat some food, take a nap, do some research, that kind of stuff. You know? Because that's what I like to do. And I am going to open up. Actually, I don't need to do that. I just need to do this and play it from right here. Alright. Alright, people. I want to thank y'all for coming by. It's been a great show. Thank you for enjoying the movie with me. That was fun. I like it when we can get that thing together. Alright, people. Take care. Love you all. Be good to each other. Peace. Be courteous. Be nice. But most of all, stay weird, people. And I will see you this evening. Or at least some of me.